Good evening, gamers, and welcome to episode. This is three, right? Episode three
Yeah.
or
Yep.
four? Three of Dave and Deeter After Dark. It's winter, or not winter. What the fuck am I talking about? It's fall, and it gets dark early, so it's after dark. And we're going to talk horror because this week is Halloween coming up,
Yes,
and
it is.
I am in the process of printing a bunch of Christmas ornaments, as fate would have it, because I'm doing a craft fair next weekend. And it's a holiday craft fair, and Santa's going to be there, and it's November 1st or 2nd that it'll be happening. So
Can't they have to make it earlier every year.
yeah, next year it'll be Christmas in July. Oh shit. So what's good, brother? What have you been up to?
Nothing much, just plugging away, working, playing video games, reading RPG stuff, books,
Nice.
Nothing. It's kind of a slow time right now.
I wish I could say the same thing, but I can't because I've legit been printing almost 24/7 for the last month.
Yeah.
Getting up at weird times of the night to go and do filament swaps for multicolored prints. Like this morning at 4 a.m, I staggered down the steps for these little gingerbread men that I'm printing. I should have brought one up to show you. I think I sent you a message, but that doesn't allow the fine folks out there in the interwebs to see it. But yeah, maybe I'll grab one when we take a break. I have got to make us an intro song and stuff. So
yeah,
we do an intro.
We gotta get we're not professional, but
oh well, there's nothing about me that's professional. So
me either.
I'm like your classic dock worker with fucking Jermaine. It's wicked good, Bob.
it's wicked good. Cosmic cars from beyond the stars.
Yeah, cosmic cars from beyond the stars, guy. What are you drinking? Cranberry juice?
No. Local. I'm just drinking a little bit of Yingling Light.
Nice.
Very
That's in your home state, right?
Yes, it is. It's actually the brewery's about 30 minutes from my house.
Nice.
So it's a great. It's a you could do like a tour and stuff. I believe it's the oldest brewery in the United States.
That's what I was just about to ask you because I thought it was the oldest brewery in the country.
Yeah, they still have they still store beer in the caves under the brewery because that's how they kept it cold back in the day.
Do they still use child labor to do so?
That I don't know, but I'm not gonna out my favorite local beer. If they do use child labor, good job, kids. You're doing great.
You just see the little handprints on the side of a can of coal dust.
This is a good batch. Hey man, you know your beer is good when it's given to you by kids with Legionnaire's disease. So
oh shit. This is going to be a classic episode right here.
Yeah.
I can already tell.
So
Halloween this week. Whoa, look at that. We're in stereo. You go.
Oh, yeah. So have you watched anything good this season?
I've watched Gingerbread Men print. I've watched Merry Christmas ornaments print.
Dude, you're dying.
I haven't watched shit for horror movies. I've got tomorrow and Tuesday that I'm kind of taking off from doing stuff. I'm just getting stuff printing and then chilling. And I think I'm going to watch some John Carpenter movies.
That's a good call. That's always a good call.
Watch The Thing. I'm definitely going to watch Halloween. I think, let's see what else. I just lost the name of the movie. Prince of Darkness is another good one. So I got to watch them. 'Tis the season.
We've been watching quite a few, about two. Like when me and my fiance sit down, we went to a movie night. We usually watch one, but this whole month we've been doing double features, pretty much watching about two,
nice,
back to back, and just hanging out. And I've noticed we were gravitating. We'll watch something newer, Sometimes maybe something we haven't seen before. And for the second one, we'll put on something that we've seen a million times, just to kind of,
You know what I got to watch is Phantasm.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I haven't seen Phantasm in a really long time. I have to put that on the list to see if we can watch it.
Boy.
Yeah, the tall man.
Yep.
Well,
Angus Scrimm.
Angus Scrimm. Yeah, is that his name?
Yep. Fucking, I love that movie. I watched that in the 8th grade in our media production class.
I saw it when I was a kid, and I had no clue what the hell was going on.
You know, that'd be pretty cool actually to print in resin a set of the silver balls.
Yeah, you just paint them silver.
And then paint them like chrome, airbrush them and shit.
Yeah.
That would be pretty fucking cool. I think I'm going to have
that
to
would
do
be neat. Yeah, that would be really cool.
I'm writing that down. I actually have a pad of paper here next to me. Well, a sheet of paper to write stuff down. Come on, pen, work. Fuck you, pen.
They'd be cool. They'd be cool, like horror Christmas ornaments for a tree too. Like,
Jesus, there, print, Phantasm
balls,
print silver balls, print balls. Oh man, yeah.
We watched a couple interesting ones this year. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them, depending on like, not really my like thing. I don't really like the. I don't really like like the artsy fartsy horror movies that are kind of they're kind of popular right now.
Like the A24 stuff, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's I like how that's what exactly you thought, because that's kind of where I was.
Well, they are kind of artsy movies, and that's why I was just asking if you watched Talk to Me.
No,
it's actually pretty good. I was of the same opinion of all of their movies. They are very like art house style horror movies, but they're so fucking good. Like Talk to Me is fucking good. I don't want to say anything about it because watching it is just awesome. And I had a friend of mine that tried to talk me into watching it for the longest time. And I'm like, no, I'm not watching that stupid art house film. And he's like, dude, you'll love it. And I watched it and I loved it.
I gotta obviously like some of them I really like. And I didn't really like stuff that I didn't really watch until like my fiance's like, she's a scream queen, man. Like she's a horror movie aficionado, and like she could tell you anything and everything about a film. And I watched Hereditary with her like the first time, like I think a year or two ago, and I was like, okay, like I liked that. I mean, Midsommar, like some of that stuff. I think The Witch was A24 as well.
Yeah, that's so good.
That one was really good. Like I really liked that movie a lot.
That movie was where I learned about the apprehension engine. Do you know what the apprehension engine is? It's a musical instrument. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it without closing our screen here. And I will share it with you and show you. It is a musical instrument that is the combination of a bunch of musical instruments, and it's what they used to make all of the music for The Witch. And now let's see, I got this. And it's just this giant thing. It's got like guitar strings, metal pieces all over it, and all this here. Let me do this, do that. Present, share screen, window, boom. That's an apprehension engine.
Oh, wow. That's really weird looking.
Yeah. So here is like guitar strings, I think here, and all this other stuff. But if I ever have a spare $11,000 laying around, I'm buying one. I have decided that because this thing is fucking epic.
That thing's crazy.
Yeah, but they'll like bang on these, and that's what makes like all this stuff is just crazy.
So it's like
And
basically like an ambiance creator, kind of.
yeah, yep, exactly what it is.
That's really neat. I didn't know that.
I discovered that because I looked up who did the music, and then I can't remember off the top of my head for The Witch because I absolutely loved it. And it was going on about how it was made with an apprehension engine. And I'm like, what the fuck is an apprehension engine? And I looked
Right.
it up. And I think this was actually the picture that I saw. And I was like, dude, that thing is crazy because it looks like something somebody built in their basement.
Yeah, it really
And
does.
yeah. And it's
It,
not.
it,
It's
it
an
reminds me.
$11,000 piece of musical equipment.
It
And
reminds me of like how like sound effect studios would like cobble together all kinds of shit to make different sound effects that like you would never think about. Like, you know, the big one is like Industrial Light and Magic, I think, did
yeah,
well, I don't know. I don't know if they
Ben
did this.
Burt.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm right. All right.
Yep.
I wanted to like the way that they just would make crazy noises and sounds and like take a microphone to like the back of a TV, like and stuff like that, and just catch.
Yeah, so it'd catch like the power up sound and all that
Yeah,
shit. Like the lasers in Star Wars are actually made, those twined metal cables that hold up phone poles.
yeah, yep,
It's from him going out with a hammer, putting the microphone right up to it and hitting the wire with a hammer. And that's
yeah.
where
I'm
the
getting
Star
that
Wars laser
that
sound
like
comes from.
yeah that
It's like this
blaster noise.
pew,
Yep.
pew. And it's, oh, see, you did it again. That was weird. Did you
Huh.
catch it that time?
Yeah,
Or could you
you're
still
fine.
see me?
Yeah, you're fine.
Weird. You dipped out for like the briefest second. That was so weird.
I don't know, man. Maybe there's a
Well,
haunting.
yeah, we'll say there's a haunting going on tonight. There's a ghost in the machine.
Yeah, I have no clue. Like I'm all green, so it might be just.
Might be something with me. I don't know. That was weird though, because it went boop boop, and you disappeared and came right
Well,
back.
at least I stayed. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't have to entertain the world on my own and be like, "Hi, I am Dave."
oh man. So yeah, we watched some good stuff. See, this is like a hard thing for me because like I'll watch something and then think about it and then it'll leave my mind and I can't remember what the fuck it was. We watched a weird movie called Daddy's Head, which I'm still rolling around in my own head.
Daddy's what?
Daddy's Head.
Daddy's head. Okay, I thought that's
Yeah.
what you said. That is this a movie we should be talking about
No,
for?
no, I said Daddy's Head, not Diddy's Head. There's a big difference.
Well played.
But yeah, it was weird and it kind of went away that like I didn't think it was going to be. I would say it's not supernatural. It's a sci-fi horror movie, which you wouldn't think. Yeah, I can't. I don't want to like talk about it because it's like whatever. But essentially, this a guy dies. A husband and father dies in a car accident, and something happens in the woods, and the kid starts hearing his dad's voice and seeing his dad's head in places, like out in the woods, and then out like in the air vent of the house, and it ends up not being like a ghost. It's
What the fuck?
something
Weird.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading the description of it now. It says a boy and his stepmother fear for their safety after an eerie creature resembling the boy's recently deceased father visits.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I might.
It's very
It
weird.
has 5.6 out of 10 stars on IMDb.
They
but that
always
means it's
rate low
probably
for
good.
horror movies. They
Yeah.
always rate low.
That's actually, I was going to say that's a little high for a horror movie. So that means it's, there you go again. Weird.
That
There's a
time you
fucking
went out.
ghost. Weird.
Yeah, I'm telling you. That time you went out.
What's going on? All right, StreamYard, you better plan on giving me a refund for fucking with my stream. You bastards. I wonder if it's something, I don't know what it would be, but Hopefully we don't just completely go off the air. That would suck.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything weird. Like for me,
No.
my internet's fine.
It says
So
I've got a little thing I can click on that says having issues, but I don't want it to close anything out. I'm going to just do this open, and no, it won't do that. Yeah. I'll email them after and be like, what the hell is going on? Here's my stream, and we kept blooping out. So
yeah, because you blooped out that time, so it's definitely not, it
weird.
might not be either of us. It might just be
StreamYard.
StreamYard, cosmic
StreamYard.
StreamYard from the Beyond the Stars.
Yes, wicked good, Bob. Oh man,
So,
I'm trying to think of, I have
yeah,
watched something recently. I'm trying to think of what I've watched because it left me kind of unsettled after. Oh, you know what it was that I saw? Have you seen the trailer for the new Wolfman movie coming out next year?
no, I did not.
Ooh, they're saying someone involved with the movie said that this is the first transformation of someone when they show the full thing. And they said it's not till near the end of the movie, but that could potentially rival American Werewolf in London.
That's some fucking tall talk for a werewolf.
That is some tall talk. Yeah.
Because
And
that one's like kind of that's like the werewolf transformation.
yeah, and it still hasn't been touched to this day.
What's the other one that's really good? Is it the one in The Howling? I can't remember.
Yeah, where they're in the doctor's office.
Yes, that one's pretty brutal too.
The guy, I should know his name. The guy that did the one for American Werewolf in London started as the effects guy on The Howling, but got offered more money to go work on American Werewolf in London. There were some issues with The Howling, so he bounced after having started that transformation, and then went to American Werewolf in London. Another dude had to finish that transformation, and he did American Werewolf in London. So it's been touched by American Werewolf in London, at least in one way.
I didn't know that, but they are weirdly similar in a way.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And I fucking love The Howling. That is top 5 horror movie for me. Because I watched that when I was like 6 and should have been allowed nowhere near that. And I could have probably qualified for the Olympic triple jump after watching that movie when I went to bed every night for about a month.
Really? It scared the shit out of you.
Oh, fucking scared the piss out of me. I'd hit like the fucking threshold of my bedroom and just dive to my bed because I didn't want something reaching out and grabbing me from under the bed.
Oh my God. Wow.
I had been sent to bed so they could watch the movie.
Right.
And then I just come down and I kind of like peek around the corner because the way our house was, the stairs came down, the doorway, like the stairs were here, the doorway was here, and I just kind of peeked around and I watched like an hour of the movie before they finally caught my little 6-year-old head poking around the corner, and they were pissed.
Well, yeah, and it did what they thought it was going to do, is scare the shit out of you.
Yeah. Yep. Like they were fully justified in sending me to bed early so that they could watch The Howling.
Dude, I think, you know what? Movies for me didn't really creep me out as a kid. But the thing is that like, you know, going from movies to like video games and stuff, like I probably got scared shitless more from playing horror games when I was younger than watching movies. Like when I was, let me see, like I'm going to say, I don't know the year. Was it like 97, 98 maybe? Silent Hill. The first, first Silent Hill.
Yeah, game. That was a fucked up game.
Man. That game on PS1, I got that. Like I got that because I played Resident Evil, right? And I wasn't scared of Resident Evil as a kid because it was like, oh, zombies and monsters, whatever. I mean, it was creepy and shit, but it didn't like scare me. Silent Hill scared me. Like there was something about that game that really creeped me out, and something about early horror games. I'm going to say PS1, PS2 games. Like there's something about them that I don't know.
One of the first jump scares.
Yeah.
You know, like I couldn't tell you how often I sat there with like my PS1 controller playing like Resident Evil, I wouldn't run the hallway, dude. I'd be like, tap, take 2 steps, tap, take 2 steps, tap. Because you could tell by the music and the ambiance of
Yeah.
what's going on that
The,
something would fucking
the
jump
famous
out.
one is the hallway in the mansion in the first one with the
Yep.
windows and the fucking dogs jump through. And it
Yeah.
doesn't happen the first time you go in, I'm pretty sure. It's like when you
It's
come
when you're
back
going
through.
back through. Yep.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened in that game, like the rest of the game, you'd just see of me taking my steps. There was no running. And speaking of Resident Evil, man, that first movie is fan-fucking-tastic with
The
Mila
only good one.
Jovovich. Yeah, but it's so good.
Oh.
And it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't get the praise that it should, I guess you would say.
That first Resident Evil movie wasn't a bad movie because they didn't, like, they were kind of creating their own story in the universe of the games a little bit in a weird way.
Yeah.
Where they didn't touch it, they didn't do any of the games stuff. They didn't have any characters from the games, but they still had, like, you know, Umbrella was the bad guy, the virus, all that. They did their own thing, and that was cool because they didn't really step on the toes of the games, which they did later and really fucked everything up and pissed everybody off.
They were fucking horrible.
I mean,
Train to Busan. Have you seen that? If we're talking
one of the best fucking modern zombie movies out there, man.
I don't like that movie.
You don't like Train to Busan?
No, I love Train to Busan. I just don't like that movie.
Really?
It's like, it's one of those ones like that I'm just like, I don't ever want to be in that type of situation.
Oh my, yeah, I know.
You know, and it's like,
yeah.
I always try to place myself in the situation of the movie mentally when I'm watching it. And I think that's what makes me so jumpy watching some of these movies that I watch still at 49 years old, is my inner 5-year-old or inner 6-year-old comes out that watched The Howling. It's like, I still get that way about movies. Like, I'll be sitting there watching a movie that's really tense and something will happen and you'll watch and I'll be like, Jesus Christ. And but I love them. I love to be scared. I think that's really cool.
I really, really enjoy, it takes a lot to get me like kind of creeped out. But like, and like, I hate cheap jump scares though. Like that pisses me off. Especially like, I don't mind them every once in a while, but when a movie is just that, that kind of gets on my nerves. But yeah, like Train to Busan,
something like scary movie where you expect to have the cheesy, stupid jump scares because it's a parody
that's basically a stupid horror. Yeah, it's a horror comedy. So
yeah. But yeah,
I mean, we watched last night. We watched a really interesting movie. That was kind of like a horror. It was a horror movie for sure, but I don't even know where to genreize it. It's like an action horror, but not really an action horror. Like, it was called Azrael, and it was like, it's post-apocalyptic, but it was so unique. Like, I really, really liked it. It's about these people surviving after the rapture. And the main character, and the cool thing about the movie is there's no talking at all.
So is it like kind of, what was that movie with the dude from The Office where they can't make
Stay Quiet? No,
it's something.
It's the one with the aliens, right? The aliens. Yeah. What the hell was? It's really popular. Quiet Place. Yeah. It's not really like that because you kind of figure out that. So the main character and all the people really in the movie, they're part of this cult that believe that they need to get away from the sin of speech. So when they are in this cult, they like burn out their vocal cords when they're young.
Oh.
And they have this like cross scar on their neck. and it doesn't really tell you the story. You got to kind of piece it together that the
Well, you
cult
just told me the story.
well, yeah, but that's like what I'm saying is like it doesn't like tell you, like you kind of pick it up on your own. Like the cult's hunting the main character because she left the cult, so she can't
Yep.
talk. And like it goes. There's these like demonic burned zombie humanoid things that are like possessed people that are all messed up, that are attracted to blood, and like it really weirdly set up this like whole kind of world where I'm like, holy shit, like I looked at it, I'm like, this reminds me of something that you could play in, whether it be like a video game or even an RPG, like this post rapture world. And it's like this horror mix. Like I get a lot of weird like there's like a lot of survivalist vibe with it, where like the main character goes from being just this like scared hunted girl into this like kind of like this fucking badass. Yeah. I would definitely I liked it. I would say I'd give that one a watch. It's called Azrael.
You know what I want to watch, speaking of horror and badass chicks, is Alien Romulus. I still haven't seen it yet.
Really? We went to the movies to see it. Yep.
And it's out on Vudu now, but they're charging $30 for it, where it's brand new. So I'm going to wait for it to come down to 20.
Holy shit, $30 for like a rental or to own it?
No, to buy it. It's 25 to rent it.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's stupid. And I'm just going to wait for it to come down to $20 to buy and watch it, because I love the Alien franchise.
Another one that I watched this season, like I'm trying to pick out the ones that we watched that I really liked. It was called In a Violent Nature.
Why do I think I've seen that one?
It's essentially like a weird Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th kind of deal, but a lot of the movie is from the perspective of the like Jason-esque monster slasher.
That's the one with the locket.
Yes.
And they take it from the ranger station, and the guy.
Yes, from the destroyed fire tower, and he comes back to life. Yep.
What is that called?
In a Violent Nature.
Yes, I have been meaning to watch that again.
It's wild, dude. They do this thing where like there's no music in the movie.
So it's all just the ambient sound and everything.
Of the forest and shit. And then there's scenes that go on a little bit too long for me, of him just standing in the woods watching people for like 4 minutes of this shot of just, you hear the woods and him just standing there, and then like kind of over his shoulder or whatever.
Someone.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And it also has probably one of the craziest, goriest kills I've ever seen in a movie.
Excellent. Because yeah, it's funny, when I first saw it, I thought of Friday the 13th Part 2, where he's got the bag head.
Yeah, it's very Jason Voorhees, like it basically is. But the mask he's wearing is a old like turn of the century firefighter's mask. That's what it is.
Yep. Yeah, I watched part of that and ended up having to go do something, so I didn't get to finish it. And I'm glad you brought it up, because I was going to ask if you had seen it, and you brought it up. So that's perfect, because now I can remember to watch it tomorrow. I'm just going to veg out with a bunch of fucking cans of Monster, popcorn guy, and fucking watch some horror movies.
You've seen I'm just trying to go through some of the ones that we've seen this year, and then some of my favorites. Like,
have you seen Barbarian? That's another age.
No, one. I didn't watch that one. My fiance did, and she was like in the middle with it. So I never watched it. Like, I kind of was like, okay, like I don't really watch horror movies by myself. Like, not because I'm scared. It's just that most of the time it's me and her. Like, because she's the one that's like, she finds all this shit. Like, I don't.
Kim hates horror movies, so we never watch them together. And so I always have to watch them alone. And they do at times scare me. Like, I know In a Violent Nature, there are going to be parts in that make me jump watching it. So
It's weird. It's not really jump stuff because it's almost like you're following him. So it's like, it's more so it's like there is a part
A
that
fart?
made me
Sounded
a
like you
part,
said fart.
a part. There's a part. No, there's a part that made me incredibly uncomfortable. And that's all I'm going to leave it at. And I think, and you'll have to message me when you watch the movie and be like, I think you're going to know when it is.
Yep.
So
Interesting. I can't wait because that's why I like watching horror movies alone. Are those weird, like unsettling moments that like I'll go down to my basement and I'll turn the light on and I'll stand at the top of the stairs for like 5 minutes and just wait to make sure I don't hear something. See,
oh, dude, like, did you ever do the thing as a kid where you like you run up the steps real fast because you feel like something's chasing
something's
you?
gonna grab your ankle. Like, check these dudes out.
Oh, they actually look really good.
Yeah. So I have to stop them at a certain layer and swap it out to white filament so it prints the frosting on them.
That's very cool.
And then we did some silver and gold and silver ones.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, folks, you can buy these pretty soon on gameswithdave.etsy.com. Shameless plug. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get us some folks in here. And
yeah, it's weird. We haven't seen anybody yet.
no, like the last time we had a few people hanging out with us, and like that's what I'm trying to see if I can get in here. I'm seeing if I can get my buddy Jim in here. Well, that's all right. It's weird. All my videos have been getting post live views. What am I trying to do here? I need to go to YouTube. People are going to watch this and be like, this is just two dudes hanging out, fucking talking. And that's the whole point of it, people.
Well,
you're supposed to be hanging out with us and talking with us.
Yeah, that's kind of the deal, you know?
Yep. Two brothers having fun and hanging out.
Just chilling out.
Yep. You know what we were going to talk about the last episode before you and fucking Brian tortured me with all the fucking Warhammer talk was we were going to talk about, and we might have, I don't remember. Did we talk about GM screens?
We did a little bit, but I don't think we went into like hyper detail about it.
I don't have them out now, so it kind of sucks because I just brought it up and I'm going to look like an asshole because I don't have mine here.
That's fine. I mean, that's always something that that's like that you'll get me bitching if we go into GM screens.
No, but I was going to try to avoid the bitching and talk about the good ones.
That's
like
true.
If you ever get the urge to play 5e, which I know you probably won't, I still do, but check out the one from Jetpack 7. It's just got, yeah, it's got the chromatic dragons on the front of it, but the inside there's no art at all.
It's just information.
It's just all the information
that's
you could
the shit
ever
that I like.
want.
Yeah. I like, and it doesn't for me. Like some people, I like if you pack that motherfucker with info, you can and make this print small. I don't care. Like,
yeah,
throw as many tables.
Fucking glasses for.
Yeah, throw as many tables on there that you can need, like any kind of pertinent information. The big ones for me, Cubicle 7 makes awesome GM screens for all of their games. Like, I was blown away by their Imperium Maledictum and their Wrath and Glory screen because of how absolutely packed to the gills they are with info. And another one, just a big opinion of mine, is Landscape all the way, man. Portrait GM screens, I know like that's like kind of the classic, but they fucking suck. Like you can't see over them. Like they're a pain in the ass. Like
I'm about to commit sacrilege being the DCC fan that I am, but I wish they would make a fucking horizontal landscape
GM screen. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm with you. I feel like I've got a book standing in front of me.
You can't see anything. Like you kind of I don't want to have to like kind of stand up.
You have to have Professor X's levitating wheelchair to be able to hover up above it and see the table.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like. I mean, hell, make it even smaller and add more panels to it. I want that motherfucker to
Speaking of
wrap
making it
around me.
smaller, you want to see? I'll probably have to turn off the blur, but the
Oh yeah, I
mothership
got it.
box set.
The
Okay,
mothership box set. Yeah,
you've got it. So the
yeah, I got
screen
it.
that they have in that frick in this box, and for folks that haven't seen it, I'll pull it out here. Come on, box, open.
That box is. I bitched for a long time that we didn't get that game, but
It
I
was
kind of
worth
had
the
to
wait.
retract. I had to retract some of my statements because they did a good
Yeah, it
job.
was worth the wait. Because there were so many people, and as much as I love you, I do know you, and you are probably one of the people that were like, "It's a fucking box. What takes so long to get a fucking box?" I can
That's
just hear you
exactly what it
say
was. Yep. You got me pegged, man.
it. But this is definitely a smaller GM screen than the average one. Hold on. I'm going to turn off the blur for a second here. Ooh, look at the pretty lights. But yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
almost the same size, but it is slightly smaller. It's shorter, and it is fucking jam packed with good stuff.
yeah. It has a ton of info on it. I love that stuff.
Yep. And now I'm going to turn the blur back on. I'm just going to turn on blur. That's far easier to deal with.
The blur.
No, the blur looks bad. Bam, we're going back to Dave and Deeter. Ciao.
So yeah, well, you interestingly posted a poll not too long ago on what your favorite Halloween monster is, like classic monster.
Yeah.
So, what was the results of that? I
It
don't
was pretty.
remember.
Ghost technically won with 2 votes. It was all over the place. It wasn't really a poll. It was just kind of a generic question. Let me pull it up here, and I will see. But ghost/ghouls won the poll for sure. See, now you've got me calling it a poll, but it wasn't a poll because I didn't
Kind
have
of was
choices.
though. I mean,
It was, but it was. I didn't have like choices for people to pick from. It was
yeah.
more of like, hey, what is your favorite? And let me get here. Dun, 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 dun.
For me, I think I don't know. Like
Here we go.
when you want to go into monster talk, that's a whole thing we can get into of like
Witches was one of them.
witches. That's a big one.
Chainsaw wielding cannibals. That's an obvious Texas Chainsaw Massacre reference.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that is one fucking movie I still to this day will like give myself pause before I turn it on. Because
Really, the original.
Hey Chantel, what's up? That is one of those movies that I that opening theme song to that movie creeps me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's almost like they had the apprehension engine before the apprehension engine existed. And Chantel actually chimed in on that and had said, I love all gothic horror. And I think that would kind of fall into ghosts, I almost think.
I think so.
But then
Yeah.
vampires and all
Yeah.
that. Now
When
that she's
I
here,
think
we've got to have her
gothic
clarify.
horror, I think of ghosts and vampires for sure.
Yep. Yep. And for me,
There's
it's always going to be werewolves because of the howling.
I love werewolves too. I love werewolves and I love monster movies, and we don't really get monster movies that often anymore. I've complained in the past, like I'm so sick of fucking haunting movies and possession movies.
Yes.
Like that
Paranormal
is
Activity 45 coming this fall.
yeah, like that kind of shit. It's just been done a million fucking times, man. Like, and I don't know. I guess people, I don't want to say like normal people because that sounds terrible.
This is perfect what she said. Ghost, vampire, the invisible man, werewolves, and mummies. That's like the universal horror films. that
Yeah,
they need to bring back, or like
like
Hammer
they'll.
horror.
I was just to say the Hammer stuff.
Yep, with
Um,
like Peter Cushing and
yep.
Christopher
I,
Lee and all them.
I like to see them. I'd like to see kind of some of those like classic monsters come back and then like redone. I mean, I'm sure people have done it in the past, but
Well, they've
um,
tried. They tried that with the new Mummy movie that had Tom Cruise in it,
and
and
it wasn't
it
really.
flopped. But there were a couple more that they did.
Well, they
And
were trying to do that Universal dark universe or whatever.
yeah, that's what they tried to do. I understand where you're coming from, but Possessed Nun sounds great, even if it's not my jam.
Well, a possessed nun. I mean, demonic stuff. I mean, that's kind of in the vein of what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
but they ruined fucking the new Exorcist movie.
I didn't see it.
Don't. You'll it destroyed, and they've got another one coming out that'll probably just get tossed in the garbage disposal.
Exorcist. Weirdly, we just watched a movie, and I can't remember what the fuck it was called. And it was a possession movie, but it was done in such a weird way. It was very more like a monster movie. Like it was like dark and evil. I don't remember what it's called, but weirdly enough, it's about like these. I think it was like in Spain, and it was like after the world got screwed up, like possessions were happening all over.
Huh.
And they moved this like fat, disgusting, possessed man to like they like were supposed to dispose of him a certain way, and then they just like toss him out of a freaking truck or something. And I believe that they're talking in like Spanish most of the movie, so I think it's in Spain or it's somewhere. And it was really weird. It's a really weird movie. Like it's like it kind of like sets up this world that like possession's normal now. And there's all these rules that you got to live by that
so you don't get possessed, or
yeah, pretty much like that evil is like it's a known thing around the world, and there's ways to deal with it. Like you don't use electric lights after a certain time because that draws demons, because the way that it casts shadows and stuff.
it
It's
actually
very,
sounds
very.
pretty fucking cool.
It was actually a really cool movie, and I can't think of the damn name of it, and I can't look it up right now because I'm using my phone for my camera.
Let me see. Spanish possession movie. I can look it up.
Yeah.
It's Veronica?
No. It was called some Dark and the Wicked, maybe. I'm not too sure.
Let me see if that dark.
Pulling names out of my ass at this point, because like
The Dark and the Wicked. Let's see. The Dark and the Wicked follows two siblings who are summoned back to the family farm to await the inevitable death of their father.
no, that's not what I'm thinking of. That's what I brought that movie up. I said The Dark and the Wicked because we watched that movie and the other one I just talked about the same night. Which Dark and the Wicked, that movie is also a possession movie. Very, very weird.
Good?
Good, yeah. Really sad, but good.
And it's funny talking about how movies can still make me uncomfortable. The latest Evil Dead movie in the high rise.
Oh, dude,
Fuck with me.
Good movie though. Good way to bring back that franchise, like in a good way. Holy shit.
What is this? What about the new movie with Ross that he gets possessed by a plant?
Like
I don't
Ross
know what that one
Friends.
is. What is his name? David
Duchovny, right?
No, that was the X-Files guy.
Oh, that's right.
Schwimmer.
Fuck, I don't know. David something. Schwimmer, that's right.
The only thing that I see with him, it says Goosebumps The Vanishing. Ross from Friends is in a new movie, she says.
He gets possessed by a plant.
Interesting.
That's weird. That's different.
Oh, wait. Yeah, let me check this out. But no, it's the new Goosebumps he's in too, which I can't fucking wait for those to come out. I love
still
that
haven't
old
watched.
Goosebumps
I haven't
show.
watched to that at all yet. At all. Like, I'm still haven't. I don't watch a lot of shit anymore.
Yeah, that's actually what it is, Chantel, is The Vanishing is what it's called. And it's got David Schwimmer, and he does indeed get, like, it looks like almost ingested into a plant or maybe possessed, like you're saying. Weird. I'm gonna have to check that out later.
That's a cool concept. Very different.
Yeah. And see, that's what I like about the A24 movies, is they're not like anything you've ever fucking seen. Like, I know you say you're not a big fan of like the art house horror.
Yeah.
But Talk to Me is so different. And I think
I'm
that's
not
why I
saying that
love
they're all bad. Don't tell me. I'm not saying they're all bad.
but I'm just saying, don't shut yourself. Oh, Chantel wants us to talk about A24. I could talk about A24 movie.
Fucking goddamn it.
And this is why I love having Deeter and I, because we are nearly opposite on about 80% of the things that we talk. Well,
no,
30-40% maybe.
We like a lot of the same shit, but
we have a lot of stuff we don't like the same shit of, like you and Brian talking fucking Warhammer for.
I can't help it, man.
And you know what? You want to know what Chantel did that's awesome? She made a copper dragon named Brass.
That's weird, but cool.
It is. It's Brass the Copper Dragon.
You want us to talk about A24?
The new movie where two sister missionaries from the Latter-day Saints Church that teach a dude that he is crazy.
Yeah, it's is that the one? Is that Heretic? Where the guy traps him in he traps the two girls that go to the house to talk about Jesus in like a maze. I think that's one. I've seen the previews for that one. That one actually doesn't look that bad.
But yes, she said.
Yep.
I'll pop that up. But yeah, I'm gonna have to write that one down. I got a nice list.
That's not out yet. I don't think that one's actually out. I'm not sure because I remember seeing previews for it. We went to see. All right, I'll bitch. Art house horror movies. We went to see Longlegs in the theaters, and I fucking hated that movie a lot.
Fucking Nicolas Cage. What do you?
He's hardly in it though. He's hardly in it. It's one of those movies where they bill a star, but he's like hardly in it.
But Brass the Copper Dragon is weird, and that's why it's cool, she says. I fell in love with Brass the Copper Dragon as soon as I read the name. Oh, but yeah. Let's see.
Did you watch Longlegs?
No, I won't, because it's all I can. Like, did you ever watch that like Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff that Nicolas Cage did, Willy's Wonderland?
I like that movie a lot.
Dude, you and my kid would get along great. She has watched that about 400 fucking times, and I hated that fucking movie because
really that's crazy.
I can honestly say the last movie of Nicolas Cage's that I have ever liked was Raising Arizona.
Dude, oh come on! Did you watch Mandy?
It's him being. I don't like his over the top shit.
He's not even over the top in Mandy. He's like quiet 90% of the movie.
If he's not talking and he's not doing,
it's like, oh, dude, you got to watch Mandy. I can't believe you've never seen it. Like that,
like Color Out of Space. I'm like, ooh, wow, look, an H.P. Lovecraft movie, and then it's just Nicolas Cage.
I like that movie too.
Oh my god, dude! Like,
I like Nicolas Cage though, so I can't really
see. Ever since I saw him as Superman, I've disliked him.
But they never really did anything with it.
I know, but the fact that they were going to do something with it. Sorry, Chantel, we've gone way off the A24 train now because I'm going to bitch about Nick Cage. And what is your opinion of Nick Cage, Chantel? I can't stand him. Zach obviously likes him. Actually, I'll take that back. Face Off was decent.
Face Off's a good movie.
Yep, and they're doing a second one. now. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. Of Scientology 101, like Battleship Earth.
Oh, don't even.
She says, "Oh, the show just got good." I can't fucking. Oh, but if you want to talk horrible movies, Battleship Earth with John Travolta.
Yeah. You want to talk? Okay, I'll give you a treat. You got to watch Vampire's Kiss with Nick Cage in it from the 80s.
No, I don't.
It's fucking awful, but it has some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in a movie.
He's got that fucking movie where he's ruining Dracula coming out with
That's out. I saw that movie. Renfield.
I won't watch it. I won't watch
It's not. It's like good. There's good parts, but it's not a good movie. Like some of the action sequences and the gore in it is really good, but that's about it.
Like he's just too over the top, and I feel like he does it deliberately.
Oh yeah, that's what they want him for.
But I can't stand that shit. It's like the kid that thinks he's the class clown, trying to be funny, that you just want to backhand.
I want you to watch Longlegs because I hate that movie, and
that's like saying, here, this tastes like shit. Try it.
No, I want you to watch it because it's exactly why I hate artsy horror movies, and I think you would get why.
That's a piss poor example. It's got Nicolas Cage.
He's not fucking in it that much. God damn it, Dave.
It doesn't matter. His build is in it, which automatically makes it bad. Chantel says there are old shows of Nick's that I like when he was in the Secret Service and had to protect the First Lady. I like that show a lot, and I like him in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Well, he's going to be Spider-Man Noir now.
Yeah. And hey, what's up, Charles? Charlie, what's up, buddy?
To be fair, the man needs money
after buying a castle. That is absolutely fair.
Have you seen some of the shit he's bought? He bought a T-Rex, a complete T-Rex fucking skeleton and shit, I think.
And that's what drives me crazy about him. It's like he tries to be weird. I'm fucking weird, but I don't go out of my way to try to be different. You know what I mean?
I guess. I don't know.
And
I'll give you this one. He was a bad casting for Johnny Blaze.
Oh, God, he was horrible in that movie. And that might have been one of the first ones to turn me off to him. I'm just like, dude, get this man out of Ghost Rider before he just... Did you see that? Who's playing him in the next movie? They cast him. Buying a T-Rex is not weird, Chantel says. I agree. But buying a castle, then a T-Rex to put into the castle, that's like trying to build a bat cave.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. Shut up, Dave.
Next thing you know, he's going to have a giant penny, and it's like the man knows his niche and owns it. Okay. Now you guys are all ganging up on me. I'm going to stop talking.
Thank you, Games with Dave audience, for joining the side of Zach.
Games with Dave? What the hell are you talking about?
Well, it's the whole channel. Dave. It's just I slowly will subvert your entire fucking fan base, because I like shitty.
Yeah, I'm gonna have people walking through my neighborhood now with Nicolas Cage masks on, and it's gonna be really weird. And I'm sorry, Charlie, it threw me off seeing Charles on there. I'm not used to you being referred to as Charles.
The Colt
my buddy Charlie from out west, and it threw me off. And then it took a second, and I saw his face when I popped the chat. I'm like, oh shit, that's Charlie.
Nice.
Oh. But all right, what else can we complain about? Because apparently it's bringing in the people now.
Yeah, we're bitching about horror movies now. So
yeah,
but I mean, I'll go back a little bit to what I was saying is we don't get monster movies anymore. Kind of that's where I was coming from with all the Ghost and Possession movies. When the fucking shit like Pumpkinhead, I like that stuff. Yeah, it's not the greatest shit in the world. But I like legit monster movies. I like
the first Leprechaun.
Yeah, I just got into a discussion the other day. It's somebody said to me, it might have been Jess, it might have been my fiance. She's like, you like the Leprechaun movies. And I'm like, the first one's really fucking good. He's a creepy little bastard in that first movie.
Are really fucking good.
Yeah.
and then they turn into just junk.
See, weirdly enough, that's where me and my fiance differ. She's fair with this. She loves the Saw movies, but she says they are guilty pleasures of hers, which that's fair.
Right.
Like,
Well,
if you,
Nicolas Cage is your guilty pleasure. That's
yeah,
how
well,
I
yeah,
justify it.
it kind of
And
is. Yeah,
continue this
it's
conversation with you is to say he's your guilty pleasure.
yeah, it is. I can realize that some of the stuff he in is dog shit, but I still like it because it is. Like, I don't know.
Willy's Wonderland.
I don't think that that's a bad movie.
Like him sitting there fucking playing pinball for like 6 hours while
Well,
he's
he had his
covered in blood.
Well, dude, that was his break time. You're allowed to go on break.
I understand, but it's just it was fuck that movie. And my kid loves it, and every time she comes up here, and I guarantee if she were to tune into this, she'd ask if we could watch it. It depends on what you qualify as a monster movie. You could argue Cloverfield or A Quiet Place. We brought up A Quiet Place earlier, and Cloverfield
That's a
is a
kaiju
movie though. Yeah. At least we can agree on that.
Yeah,
So,
no, it for sure is. Now that one with oh god, I can't think of his name. Dan from Roseanne.
Cloverfield 2 or Cloverfield like 40 like lane 40
something
Second Street
lane
or whatever.
Yeah. That wasn't really it wasn't really a kaiju movie, and it was weirdly not really even about the other one. I don't know.
No, if you pay attention, it takes place like just outside the city.
Is that what it is?
That's all going on? Yeah.
But like he's just a psychopath, basically. That's kind of the whole gist.
Yeah, and it's got the barrels, spoiler alert, of acid.
People.
I can't think of the type of
he's
acid
melting corpses or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And that's Chuck, right? That's your buddy's name.
Yep.
He
Charlie.
just said that's the one he's referencing. Yeah, that one's weird because it's like a side story during that like kaiju catastrophe. Weirdly, like so. Fuck, I don't even know why they made that.
It has John Goodman. I mean, really, King Ralph was the prequel to 42 Cloverfield Lane. I'm being a wise ass now because
I don't get that reference. So
have you ever seen King Ralph with John Goodman?
No. No.
He becomes like the king of England and everything, and I was just being a wise ass because I actually enjoy King Ralph.
He was in the Flintstone.
Yep. He's been in a lot of shit. He's a decent actor.
I like John Goodman. I do.
Yeah.
I like Roseanne. So
hands down, his singing killed it.
I have not seen that movie in a long time. I didn't know he sings.
Oh man. But yeah, let's see. What else can we argue about? We agreed on John Goodman. We got to change the subject.
We talked about werewolf movies. My favorite werewolf movie is Dog Soldiers.
That's a good movie. Okay, no, see, we can't talk about this. We can't agree. This is the disagreement was what was starting to bring folks
But that's the problem, is that we like a lot of the same shit, though.
Yeah, we do. Yep. Like when we're in Philly, we're probably the two of us will get in the most trouble together.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
I mean, we could segue into that for just a second. Me and Dave will both be at PAX Unplugged the first weekend of December in Philadelphia. So if you see us wandering around or doing whatever, come up and say hi to us. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. Dude, I'm going to be so fucking busy that week.
Oh, dude.
Like, I hope I get to play some games because I'm getting mainly fulfillment cards made up. But so many of the people that I've interviewed are going to be there, and they're like, yeah, you got to come find me. We'll grab something to eat. Like, I'm going to leave there like 100 pounds heavier. I'm going to be waddling out of our Airbnb going like, go tutu solo.
Dude, our place is pretty nice. I think we did good this year.
Yeah. Well, even the place we had for TotalCon was really nice.
I am the undisputed champion of finding good places.
If I hadn't been such a late addition, we would have found a place where I had a bed instead of a couch. But
yeah.
That would be my only gripe, was that couch was still comfortable.
Yeah, it was big. It was like, yeah, it was a pretty big couch.
And we didn't really sleep, so it's
yeah, that's something we gotta figure out.
I wish you could see these as they're rolling in like I could. Charlie said you're going to be the Sally Struthers from South Park. Basically, yes. Feed me. But yeah, it's crazy because I've got so many people I've got to find there that are like, yeah, we're going to be at PAX Unplugged. Find us. We're going to be at PAX Unplugged. And I'm cool with it, but I'm going to be a tired boy. That train ride home, I'm going to sleep for sure.
Well, hopefully, I mean, we'll figure it out when we get there. You know, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of my gameplay is going to be with us at the house.
If we got time. I'm running 3 games that weekend.
Yeah, but it's not all day.
Mm-mm.
And I'm sure we're going to be dead by like 8 o'clock at night. We'll get back to the pad. I'll drink like 4 monsters between 8 and 9. And then we'll pull out Shadow Dark and we'll be like, oh shit, it's 4 a.m. We got to be there at 8. And then we'll sleep until 10 a.m. And
I can't sleep till 10. I got a game at 10. My games are at the Alexandria Arcane Library, or Alexandria Library, and I'm running Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland 10 to 3, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Nice. Charlie wants to know, intelligent, slow zombies or fast, animalistic? It depends on the movie for me.
Yeah, okay. All right, we can get into the zombie talk if you want to. So I think the remake of Dawn of the Dead was one of the best zombie movies ever made.
I would agree. Damn it. Why do we have damn it.
So, and there I like the idea that when people first get turned, right? They're fast. And as the zombie degrades, it becomes like the walker, the shambler kind of zombie.
It's funny you say walker, because my one gripe was going to be The Walking Dead, because 11 years in, and they're farther than 11 years in that show, like not in terms of seasons, but in terms of show timeline.
Yeah.
There would be no fucking zombies left. Because I would think they would have died out. They would have just rotted.
Well, it happens in World War Z. I don't know. That's a great book. And I'm going off to the book
completely different.
Yeah. They took a lot of liberties with the book, but the book talks about how like humanity does win the war because like they can't, like they do degrade into nothing at some point. So like as long as humanity does hold out wherever they hold out at, like it's going to stop.
And 28 days later was the same way.
Yeah. Well, the first one. They don't fucking go slow though, because they're not. That's the thing.
That movie fucked with me. The first one, seeing that when they're driving through that tunnel, and you see the rats come running at them first, and it's like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden you just hear like,
yeah,
and they fucking come bolting up the tunnel. It's like, dude, those zombies are running.
The weird part is like they're not zombies. They're just infected. Like they're not undead.
Because that's what Charlie just said. I believe the argument is that at that point, everyone is infected. So when they die, they become zombies.
Yeah, that's the Walking Dead thing, is that everyone already is infected with it. So that's why it's like, oh, the drop of eye. That's fucked up. That part was sad.
Yep. I
Crow,
still to this day
the
get
Crow
like,
and the dad. Yeah, I'm like, oh, as soon as the drop comes out of the body that the Crow's in and hits him in the eye, you're just like, fuck. Your heart sinks because right then and there.
I just did talking about it. I got that feeling of like my heart dropping into my stomach of like, fuck. But the best scene of that movie is when Cillian Murphy cuts the soldier that they have chained in the backyard loose, and he goes into the house and just fucking goes ham on everybody.
Yeah,
And
that's
turns
great.
them into the walking buffet. It's like,
I think is it the second movie that they have that song "Out of the House in a Heartbeat" that it's kind of become the colloquial theme of 28. That
wasn't it
slow,
the
like,
first or the second?
but I think it was the second.
I think it
That
was.
slowly rising theme.
Yep.
Is that
It would make sense
crescendo.
because of the mother being in the house.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I think it's the name of the song is "Out of the House in a Heartbeat" or whatever.
I'm gonna look that
Another good zombie movie. That I
28
think
weeks
it's
later. That's right.
28 weeks. They're doing another
And
one.
this
They're
new
doing
one's
28 months.
years. Is it 28 months or 28
I
years?
thought it was months, but it might be years.
Days movie. Let's check that out first, and then I will. 28 days later. Yeah, it's 28 years later.
Oh, okay. Do me a favor. Look up a French zombie movie. There was one we watched a couple years ago that I thought was like a really, really cool zombie movie.
Infested? I've seen that. That was pretty good.
It was like
We Are Zombies. The Night Eats the World.
That one. The Night Eats the World. That's a good one too.
I'm writing that one down because I've never even heard of it, and that makes me sad. The Night Eats the World.
That one's a cool one. That's
sitting
very
behind me's got to be like, shut up.
That one's cool because it's like a lone survivor movie, and it's him, the main character, surviving by himself. And there's a lot of like he's dealing with like loneliness and like kind of going nuts a little bit because he can't leave his apartment building. It's a good one. It's a good zombie flick.
You know what movie I was disappointed wasn't a zombie movie that I feel like I was misled into thinking was a zombie movie was The Road.
The Road? Really?
Yeah, I liked the movie as like, and then Charlie says, have you ever seen the 2014 movie Housebound? Nice blend of horror comedy. I have not. I'm going to have to write that one down.
No, I didn't see that one too. Well, I don't know. I might have. Like, I'm one of those people that can't remember the names of movies I watched 3 weeks ago. And then, like, it's happened to me a million times where I go in and I'll watch a movie, be like, oh, this looks good. And then, like 10 minutes into it, I'm like, I fucking saw this already, and I forgot that I even watched it. Like, I don't know if that's ever happened to you before. Like,
oh, yeah. Well, that's why I think we complement each other well, even despite when we do disagree being the better parts, is we're good at answering each other's or solving each other's confusion. Because you'll be like that movie with the guy where he had the chainsaw on his arm, and it's like I'll be like, oh, Evil Dead, and you're like, yeah, and then I'll do the same thing, and you're like, oh, that's this. And
speaking of, just last night we watched Evil Dead 2, baby. Watched it after we watched something else. See, I can't even remember what the fuck we watched last night.
Oh shit.
But yeah. Zombie talk, man. That's a good one. Like intelligent zombies is a weird one. That's one I don't know if I really like. Like when they did that Land of the Dead shit, where the zombies start to
Land
get
of the
smart.
Dead with the guy that worked at the gas station and shit.
Where that, like, yeah, where when they come into the town, they start to see the zombies are trying to like,
yeah, they're shooting the fireworks and all that to distract them.
Yep. And the zombies are like, I guess, mirroring what they did in life or something like that. Like,
yeah, they carry on with like their job or whatever their like hobbies or whatever were. I guess see you and I sitting there like dead, like rolling dice and being like, oh shit. I like intelligent zombies.
Well, you got Bub. I mean, Bub's like the big one,
yeah,
right?
Bub.
Yeah.
Yep. I love Bub.
Fido. You've seen Fido, right?
Fido's such an amazing movie. But where's Timmy Fido? Ooh, and he takes him to the well. It's like he's basically Lassie, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like it's such a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, zombies are a weird one because, like, I think zombie movies might be another guilty pleasure of mine. Like, because I've seen some shitters, but like, I'll
Have you
still
ever
sit
seen
through them.
Chopped?
No, I don't think so.
Chopped is this really corny movie about a logging company. I gotta look it up because I remember it, but it was like almost like a eco-terrorist type movie.
Okay, yeah.
Let me pull the Chopped zombie movie, and it will give a better. No, it was not One Cut of the Dead. Final Cut. No, it was called Chopped. Why isn't or thought it was Chopped? The Chopped zombie movie. I'm gonna look up Logger zombie movie because that's what
Logger
it was.
zombie movie.
Logging zombie movie. Severed. That's what it's called.
Severed. Okay.
It's from 2005, but it's see, it says a group of young environmental activists become infected, ravenous, unstoppable zombies when a forestry company's genetic where'd it go? Experimentation goes disastrously wrong. I wonder if I can get away with playing trailers on here. Probably not.
No, I don't know. Probably not.
But
we get DMCA'd because of bullshit.
Yeah. But it's a horrible movie. But it's it's kind of like my Nick Cage of zombie movies, I guess you would say.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's really like the concept of it's dumb because they cut down the trees and they have this green ooze in the trees that infects people.
Dude, that's like so like you said 2005, but it screams like 80s shit horror movie. Like, right?
Well, it basically is, but those
like it's a 2000 B horror movie. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
The Gate.
The Gate.
That with it's Steven Dorff's first movie, the one that plays Deacon Frost in Blade.
Yeah. I've seen The Gate.
Yes, it is indeed, Charlie. He says, so it's your Con Air. Oh, shit.
What's wrong with Con Air?
What? Everything? I mean, you know, you're on a fucking airplane, dude. Where are you going to hide? And like, it's just so.
Snakes on a plane, baby.
Get these motherfucking snakes off my motherfucking plane.
What a fucking wild movie.
Yep. And
that's another weird genre of horror movies that like a lot of people don't do anymore is like just weirdly big animals. Like I guess Jaws was the first one for that whole weird little genre.
Oh no. You got to think of like Attack of the 50-Foot Ants and stuff like that.
I'm saying yeah. All right. You're going back like
way back into like the 50s and 60s, but
Jaws popped into my head because of how wildly culturally significant that movie was.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a fucking shark. Like, it's not a monster. It's not like supernatural. It's just a shark. I think of like Anaconda and Alligator too.
Congo was another one.
I don't remember that.
I've had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monkey Through Friday plane. Charlie, we don't hold our tongues. That's why we've got the language warning on our.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually surprised. I've had one
rat shit, bat shit, dirty old twat. 69 assholes tied in a knot.
Well, if that's
hooray, lizard shit.
Yeah. That was the that was the TBS edit. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, now I'm okay. Now
yeah, that's the isn't that
I
that's
didn't
the
read
TV
the whole
play.
chain. I thought I didn't read the whole chain of his messages because Because here we go. The edited version is the best. I've had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday through Friday plane. Now it makes sense. That was
Yeah.
I was going to say, we don't edit this.
Why
I'm
even
surprised
run
I
that
have not
movie?
had. I am surprised neither of the first 2 episodes have been taken down, especially the first one.
Oh, we're not that vile. I mean, come on.
Not yet. Not yet. We'll get there. Wait till episode 4.
Oh, episode 4, the return of. Never mind.
Oh shit.
Well, the reason that we don't get taken down is because we're 2 buddies having a good time talking about movies,
Video
RPGs,
games.
and video games, RPGs, and
I hate Warhammer. I said it there. Take it.
And shut up. You think it's cool. That's the sad part.
I think the Necrons are cool. That's about it. And that's all I know is the Necrons. And I know how to get you riled up when it comes to talking about Warhammer. Oh, you just froze on me. There you go.
Am I there? I
Yep.
I think I was just
pouring another Yungling.
a Yungling. I might have to go grab more. I'm having a good time.
The Order 66 of beers. The Younglings.
Master Skywalker, why are you fucked up?
Oh, shit. That's a movie I honestly can't wait for. The Mandalorian and Grogu.
I'm so out of like Disney Star Wars, man. Like it's hard for me.
It's hard
Star
for
Wars,
me. Like
it's so
movies
like
were
over.
so yeah. Like
it's too much saturation and too much bad shit.
It's pretty sad that I prefer the prequels that I loathe over episode 7, 8, and 9.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna say I like the prequels a lot more than those movies too.
No.
Did you guys watch The Acolyte?
No.
No. Because no.
And then Charlie says it was rough.
It was more than rough. I mean, some of my friends watched it, some guys that you know, and they fucking ripped that movie a new one. I mean, we have like just inside jokes at the table when someone goes, "The power of many, the power of one," like. And you didn't watch it, and I didn't watch it either, but they just told me all this stuff, and it's dog shit to the max, man. Like, it's terrible.
With the context of the Clone Wars, the prequels are stellar. Yes, you just got to kind of kill episode 1 to make the prequels stellar.
I have not watched through all of Clone Wars, but I hear it is phenomenal. I've seen some of it.
I am hoping with the next season of Obi-Wan Kenobi that we get to see Hayden, which we've already got back in the first season of Obi-Wan. Mm-hmm. And I will say, when he was at Star Wars Celebration, I teared up when he got a standing ovation because he fucking deserves it, because it wasn't his fault that Anakin was a whiny little shit. That was just the way he was written.
It's because George Lucas can't write dialogue.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And well, he can write. You know, you're absolutely right. He doesn't get dialogue because he's such an awkward shit that he's like, yeah, this is what somebody would say to somebody. No, George, no.
Good at world building and everything like that. We can't talk about Star Wars, but
yeah, we can't because Ahsoka was amazing.
I didn't watch that either, so.
Yep, yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, Charlie. He said that he was awesome in Ahsoka. Getting to see him back, like, he deserved the standing ovation that he got at Star Wars Celebration because he got fucking chastised for being Anakin back when the prequels came out. Everyone's like, "Oh, Hayden Christensen sucks as an actor," and it's like, no, he doesn't, because there was that movie after where he played like the stalker. And I can't think.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck was that called?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was such a good movie.
You know, that's another thing, though.
Act.
Man, like, just before we get off of Star Wars and back into Halloween mode here, they treated that little kid that played Anakin in Phantom Menace like shit, and I feel real bad.
Ahmed Best too. That's why I was glad, like, he gets his redemption in the Mandalorian. with the character that he played. And I was so
Yeah, he
happy to
plays like
see
a
it.
badass Jedi, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He's like a
yeah,
super badass Jedi. And it's like, I saw him on there and I'm like, that's Ahmed Best. What the fuck is he doing? Then he pulls out 2 lightsabers and just fucking annihilates a squadron of clones. And I'm just like, yeah. It's like, fucking fuck you, Jar Jar. Anyway, back to horror movies.
yeah. We can actually, believe it or not, I can bring all of this together right now. You can bring Star Wars, zombies, and horror together right now. Have you ever read the novel Death Trooper?
No.
Okay, so it is legit Star Wars with zombies.
Nice.
It's this weird story where they find this like errant ship where this Sith Lord was working on this weird virus.
Yep.
And it legitimately is like the zombie virus. And it's this story of this kid surviving on like an errant ship. I think it might even be a Star Destroyer. And it's filled with stormtroopers and people that got turned into fucking zombies. And
Now,
Han's
that's something
there.
I would pay to see.
Yeah, like it's crazy because it is like, it's pretty brutal for a Star Wars novel.
Charlie says it's badass, Dave.
Yeah, Death Trooper is awesome.
I gotta write that down.
I don't think Disney would ever turn that into a movie, but it's straight up
3, which I never saw.
Yeah.
Or Deadpool and Wolverine, which I never saw coming from a mile away that they would let that whole movie slide.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it is straight up Dawn of the Dead Star Wars. Like it's a good novel.
And they also made Romulus. Alien Romulus, because they own that franchise now.
Well, yeah, because they bought Fox out. I'm excited for another Predator movie, man. I want to see another Predator movie.
Have you seen the one with the Native American girl?
Prey is fantastic.
It's fucking amazing.
That is a freaking great movie. That is a redemption movie for that franchise.
Yeah, that was what was that called?
Prey.
Yeah, that was such a fucking amazing movie. That was so good. No more R. Kelly or Diddy movies, Charlie says.
Yeah.
I gotta take a drink.
Well, I mean, you could definitely do a horror movie that's in Diddy's house, but all right, I'll stop.
I'm trying to think of a good title for an R. Kelly Diddy movie.
It's like Bad Boys,
Predator. He just says Predator.
Predator.
Predator 6, the urinating.
Yeah. Yeah. It's instead of the glowing green blood when you hurt the predator, like it's just it's fucking baby oil.
Oh,
but,
God. Oh shit. Oh, this has gone south. Thank you, Charlie, for taking us down the path that we needed to go.
Yeah, it's been a very slippery slope.
I feel like we just glided into this.
God damn it. But what's a big one that we could talk about too? Vampires, that's a huge one.
Lost Boys is one of the greatest movies
Lost
ever
Boys,
made.
Movie-wise. Hit up, I guess we could hit up some RPG shit. The path glistens in the moonlight. Just we could talk about horror RPGs or with vampire stuff. I mean, Masquerade's been around forever.
Want to know a good
weirdly
one?
enough,
I don't know how well it'll show. Oh, I almost had it. Dark Places and Demogorgon.
Yep. I hear good things.
Eric Bloat did is a fucking amazing game. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to go down a path of swears and curse words with Eric's stuff because I have too much respect for the guy.
I'd love to talk to Eric because he is very much into a lot of retro video games and a lot of the cool stuff that I like to. And I think that I could definitely jive in a cool conversation with Eric. Like,
yeah,
I've heard a lot of things from a lot of people saying that he's a neat guy. So,
yep. Yeah, I want to get him on the show eventually. Like, I don't know. He seems like a very quiet guy, and I'm a very in your face kind of guy. So I don't know if, like, I don't know. I want to get him on the show, though. I've tried a couple times. I'll get him on one of these days. It's
Yeah,
also a bad timing thing for both of us every time I've tried to get him on. So,
yeah,
but him and some others that I still got to get on the show.
But I'm
Charlie
thinking,
actually said, "Let me in." I've never seen that.
let me in.
I got to look that one up. It sounds like it would be a vampire movie because you've got to invite him in order for
Yeah.
him to come to your home. Hello, Squeaks. My cat's freaking out down here by my feet. Let me in. I'm going to look that one up, Charlie. Oh, is it Japanese?
Might be.
Oh, is it? An alienated 12-year-old boy befriends a mysterious young newcomer in his small New Mexico town. No, it's not. And discovers an unconventional path. Interesting.
Hmm.
Shit, I'll send you an invite right now, Charlie, as long as you got your webcam and stuff fired up and you can jump in with us and wreak havoc.
Yeah, we kind of do that. We need to. We've done. I mean, that's another thing. Like we talked about. Like we don't mind letting people in from the chat to shoot the shit a little bit.
Nope,
for sure.
not at all. Hold on, let me.
Kind of what this. That's kind of what Dave and Deeter's supposed to be.
He
There's
said, "Give
no
me 5." Yeah, it's the gloves are off.
Yeah. But speaking of vampire RPG stuff, I brought up Vampire Masquerade. People like that a lot. I mean, it's been around forever. Weird community, for sure. Don't know how that jives, but I really like that Bloodlines game that came out in the 2000s on the PC. That's kind of what got me into that. I didn't even know it was a tabletop RPG at the time.
I got to think of how I'm going to get him an invite. Because actually, I can send it to him on Facebook. Hold on here.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, I almost clicked Facebook, which would have kicked me out of here, and that would have been bad. Open in a new window. There we go. Why? No, don't do that. I hate Facebook. I hate it.
Yeah, everybody does.
I hate it. All right, so
you got to start figuring out how to simulcast, brother. Get yourself on Twitch.
Oh, I can do it easily enough, but we would get kicked off Twitch.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. The second you say anything potty mouth wise, they're like, no.
I don't know. I mean, I've streamed and said some pretty fucking weird shit on there. So, but I mean, that's
Charlie,
me.
if you're listening, I'm going to send you the invite through Facebook and you can hop in with us when you are ready. He said, give me 5.
You should shoot Jared a message too, see if he's up hammering around.
I will. Oh God, this is going to turn into a complete shit show if we get Jared and Charlie on here. Let me see. I'm going to. Doesn't show that Jared's on, but I sent him a message. I'm going to tell him we're live now. All right. So I'll hear the ding when Charlie joins us, and I'll just bring him in. Charlie's a fucking riot. I've played a lot of D&D with him and a Discord, so
We
Oh boy,
so
I'm a little scared here of how the direction this could go if we get Jared and Charlie in here. It's gonna be like a really, 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 really bad, but in a good way. Just horrifying. Yeah, I've got a nice list of movies that I can choose from tomorrow
oh,
here,
dude,
though.
I kind of expected us to hammer that stuff out, but oh man, I'm trying to think. We were on vampires, so
Yep.
I
And
mean,
there's a vampire game I've got that's not Vampire the Masquerade, and I can't think of what the fuck it is. That's really good. I'm definitely probably not going to make it till midnight tonight, my friend. I'll
you're fine.
try.
You're fine.
I
You're
will
fine.
try, but
Deadlands is a cool vampire movie. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. Or no,
no, you know what? The one I was just thinking of?
Stakeland. I'm sorry.
The one I was just thinking of is the one that has James Woods. It's the Tarantino. It's not. I always think no, it's the John Carpenter vampires movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just vampires, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me see. I know the vampire game I'm thinking of. And we played it at TotalCon. That was the one I'm thinking of that we had, that Hambone.
Oh, with
Sunset Express, or I can't.
Hambone's game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I really liked that. Being on the death train and shooting shit. And I like his, yeah.
Vampires and Western goes pretty well together.
Yeah, because it's like they would have been younger, you know? It's like, okay, why is this that messed with me? I gotta close this other window for now. But yeah, I like vampires a lot. And The Lost Boys is one of my favorite vampire movies. And I gave my kid my Voodoo password so she could watch it. And every fucking time I go into Voodoo, I dread to think of what the view count is on The Lost Boys, because she must watch it at least once a day.
Really?
Yeah, like she's that bad. She sent me this picture the other day of like the shelf from the grandfather's kitchen from The Lost Boys. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What are you sending me? And she's like, Dad, that's the kitchen from The Lost Boys. How do you not know that? And I'm like, because I don't watch it every day. And she just replies back like, LOL, LOL. And she
what's the quote? What's the only?
That's the one thing I hate about Santa Carla. All the damn vampires.
All the damn vampires. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, thanks for letting us know. You know, it's like, oh, there he is. I'll pop him in.
Speaking of vampires and movies that are coming out. Speaking of vampire movies that's coming out, that Nosferatu remake is going to be fucking awesome in December.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it is.
You're coming in a little low.
Low?
I can hear him good.
Hear you.
Is that better?
Okay. Yep, that is.
Is that better? Yeah, there we go.
What's up, man?
Sorry, I haven't had my computer set up for a hot minute, so that's why it took me a little time to get everything together.
Charlie, Zach, Charlie.
Good to meet you, brother.
Shalom alaikum.
This is a scary combo, having the three of us together. If Jared joins us, it'll be even scarier. Oh shit. Speaking of, I gotta pull Facebook back up in case he does message me. Fuck.
He might be in the middle of a game tonight. I'm not sure.
Well,
We'll
he needs to stop it and join us because we're more important.
But yeah, I think that Nosferatu movie is going to be fucking dope. Weird that they put it in December and they didn't try to push it for October, but
dude, it's a Christmas movie. Come on.
I mean, it's all about the rising. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I could see. Why they would do that.
Apropos.
I was bummed out. I thought Willem Dafoe was playing Nosferatu.
No, he's not. He's a side character. But
I was kind of disappointed to learn because I'm like, dude, he would make such. Now there's an over the top actor I like.
yeah,
Is
I
Willem
like him a
Dafoe.
Over the
lot. I
top
like him in a
because he
lot of stuff.
commits.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the
One of the
shitty.
Skarsgårds are actually playing
Yes, that's right.
the or Count Orlok, I believe his name is.
Yep,
Right?
Orloff.
Yeah. Orloff,
Yep.
yeah.
I cannot wait for that movie. And the new Wolfman movie is going to be balls to the wall, crazy.
All right, I'm going to give you something here. Back to werewolves, you talk about, whatever. I hope if they do Wolfman style, like, right, I hope the transformation isn't just like guy with hair and claws and teeth. Like, I want to see, like,
The snout come out.
the snout and, like, big.
The shoulders dislocating. And
yes, I want to see, like, that's the kind of werewolf I want to see. I don't want to see.
The problem with that is. The problem
Don't
is
you
they're going to
fucking
do
dare
that.
say
They're going to
furries.
pay for no. They're going to pay for all the fucking CGI. They're going to go through it. It's going to look fucking awful, and then somebody on YouTube is going to do it with like 20 minutes of fucking work, and it'll look way better.
No, but that's the thing. I think I have read that everything in this new Wolfman movie is practical.
Ooh,
Let me pull it up.
That is intriguing.
Well, if they're trying to pull from like American Werewolf stuff, they have to do practical effects.
Yeah.
Like there was a big thing. Why? I watched a video on YouTube not too long ago. It's like, why does CGI from like 20 years ago or 15 years ago or more actually looks better than some of the shit that comes out now, and it's like fucking awful. And CGI could look good. Like, I'm practical effects 100% all the way. I always will be. But they don't give the CGI teams enough time to make it look. Like, you go back and look at fucking Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, that shit still looks fucking really good. Yeah, and we don't get that quality of CGI anymore because they rushed the VGX teams to push the movie out. And it's like,
not only do they rush them, but they overwork them.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I've heard so many horror stories about them being so overworked that like they get to a point where like they can't even do basic fucking CGI because they're so burnt out and their creativity is just shot.
Yeah. They're just like dead, basically. Like, being pushed to work like, 16-hour days and shit, like, or more.
To this, Blumhouse has yet to confirm how much of the film will feature CGI and digital effects, though in an interview with Collider, actor Christopher Abbott has revealed the titular monster was fleshed out with practical effects.
Yeah. When it's a mix, CGI and practical mix makes a really good looking. I think that looks good.
Yeah. It was a lot of time, a lot of prosthetics.
Seems.
Yeah.
A lot of times in the prosthetics chair, we did it old school style, which I appreciate, he asserted. Abbott plays Blake, a family man who inherits his estranged father's estate after the latter's supposed disappearance and death. And then, it's all practical effects for the.
You said there's a trailer out for this, right?
What's that?
You said there's a trailer out for this?
Yeah. I'll shoot it to you.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it tonight after we get off. I want to watch it. That might be one that like.
Now I'm hearing everything. Yeah, I can't wait. And that's what I thought I had read, that this was going to be a lot of practical effects. And I'm like, wow.
I mean, from my theater time, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, like even on like a low level. So the big thing is whoever they have acting in it is going to need a strong degree of mental fortitude to go through the heavy hair and makeup and then be ready to go. Like, you hear Jim Carrey talking about when he was doing the Grinch and stuff, and how he was awful. He was basically ready to kill himself. He was smoking just constantly getting
Yeah,
through that.
chain smoking cigarettes through the
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I know that. You know who is it that played Mystique in those old X-Men movies?
Oh, the model. What was her name? Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, that process said that she was like she fucking hated it. The paint I guess they used for her said that like the smell of it, like she would have like massive migraines
Yeah.
from the
There's that
chemical
aspect.
smell.
Some of them have flat out allergic reactions to it and still have to keep going with it.
Well, recent stuff. The guy that played the Penguin in the newest Robert Pattinson Batman movie, and then now the
Colin
series
Farrell.
is out.
Yep.
Yeah, is it Colin Farrell?
Yep.
He
Colin
said,
Farrell,
I think he recently said he'll never fucking do it again because the makeup time is like out of this fucking world. Like it drives you nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that was him when I read that. I'm
Can't
like,
even tell.
Colin fucking Farrell? No, you cannot tell. And
I'm
John,
still thinking
have
of
you
him as
seen that
Bullseye.
movie? Yeah. Have you seen that movie, both of you? The Pattinson.
The
Pattinson.
Pattinson Batman.
Yeah, the Pattinson. Loved it.
I'm going to be controversial in a way that I like that Batman movie a lot more than some of even the old ones because my favorite Batman stories, comic book wise, is I like Long Halloween, Dark Victory, the Jeff Loeb stuff. I like Batman when when it focuses on him being a detective and not like a superhero.
Yeah. Yep.
That movie was fucking awesome to me. Like I like seeing the Bat as the world's greatest detective. Like, and
Well, that's what he is, you know.
Yeah, like I want to see that more, and that I like that movie a lot
and make him a superhero.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to go with that because you're also looking at the aspect of the actual psychological effect and everything that it has on him. So you get into like the Killing Joke.
Yeah,
that is such a great comic.
That's a big one.
Yep.
Like I said, Long Halloween's probably my favorite Batman book, for sure.
Respectable, yeah.
Just because I don't know, like that Loeb stuff that he did. I think it was Long Halloween, Dark Victory, and
did he do the Court of Owls too?
I don't know. He did Long Halloween, Dark Victory, and something Night. I can't remember what Dark. No, it's not just Dark Knight. It's something else. But I liked Batman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hush is awesome. Hush is super good.
Court of Owls with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
Yep.
Which Court of Owls was really cool. Now we're talking fucking comic books. Court of Owls was pretty cool because like that was what a good introduction to a new Batman villain that like instead of rehashing the old Rogues Gallery again for the umpteenth time, you know.
Like I think I could go about 30 to 40 years without ever seeing the Joker again.
Yeah, me too. It's just
even though I did love Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yeah, well, that second movie is apparently dog shit. So
yeah, well, look who they cast as Harley Quinn. I mean, not that she can't act. I think she's a great actress and a phenomenal musician, but she's not Harley Quinn. Like Margot Robbie played the perfect Harley Quinn.
I wouldn't mind a different take on Harley and not do like the giggly psychopath and more of a serious Harley Quinn. So, but the movie's not good. Like I don't mind like them changing stuff, but the movie's just not good. Like it's a shitty movie. I heard it was terrible.
You're talking about like playing much more on the therapist aspect of it, the intelligent.
Yeah, I don't like you can do Harley Quinn and make her like this not this like bubbly psychopath girl, and like you can definitely do a really good dark take on the Harley Quinn character as this.
Yeah, you make it a cross between the Riddler and the Joker.
Yeah, like this psychopathic like psychologist, and I'd like to see it where instead of the Joker like making her fall in love with him, like it's more like she was just as bad as him, and that it her meeting him pushed her over the edge to break. Like give her an origin story where she was always a fucking psycho. Like
Yeah, so like the train of thought, his psychosis itself fascinated her more than have it be a romantic angle and have her want to try to follow down that path, almost like a Clarice with Hannibal Lecter, Buffalo Bill type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, you're hitting it right on the head, man. Yes.
Yep. And she slips and goes down the wrong rabbit hole, and
All it takes is one pull of the trigger, Dave.
yep.
All it takes. Oh, it's also it's the Joker quote. All it is one bad day.
Yep.
Yep. Look at Falling Down. It's the perfect
Dude, Falling
example
Down.
of
I just brought that movie up to somebody at work, which is a terrible place to talk about Falling Down. But I'm like, have you guys ever seen Falling Down? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna stop because like
I'm gonna get fired if I keep talking about this guy that
I can't talk about that movie in the office. Like that's a bad idea. Like, but I think there was
I just noticed you had that on there, Charlie. That's phenomenal.
You're welcome. I
Expert
changed
advisor.
it a few minutes ago.
What did you have it as?
Blank.
Oh,
That's right. I was a free agent. Now I'm an expert advisor.
that works. I'm his advisor. Who are you? I'm her advisor. What was that? The Transformers movie or something like that? Well, he's my advisor. Yeah, it was one of the Transformers movies.
I think so.
Where they're like, "You're my new advisor." Who's he? He's my advisor. Oh shit! Yeah, I'm looking up the Jeff Loeb. But comics. If we're gonna talk comics, I always screw the guy up.
We're all over the place. I mean, Halloween. God damn it! Sorry.
I know, we've gone way.
I mean, you want to
Halloween.
talk about? He brought up Warhammer. I mean, you want to go about obscure miniature games? You go Confrontation.
I don't even know that one.
It is a French miniature tabletop game. Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. There's goblin factions, all kinds of craziness. Yeah.
See, I can't go off. I don't want to go off about Warhammer and 40K and stuff.
I don't want.
Dave will lose his
I will
shit.
I will goblins. Hit the end show.
They have cannons.
I'll end it.
Pistols.
Technical difficulties. Why can't I? Who was it that wrote the Winter Soldier series? What is his name?
The Russo brothers.
No, not the movie.
That was a joke. That was hands down a joke.
Yeah.
That is the best Marvel movie, by the way. So
it is.
I'll throw that out there.
I can't think of his name, and it's bugging me.
Fuck.
I don't think that's it. Fucka?
Fuck. Could be. Oh man.
Fuck. Why it doesn't?
Joe Quesada.
No, I'm looking. I'm gonna find it here. One of us will get it.
Daniel Mason.
Nope.
Looking.
Brubaker. Ed Brubaker.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen any of the like new comics he has put out?
No, I haven't seen it in a while.
Ed
I mean, besides some indie stuff, I've been out of the DC Marvel games.
He's gone fully indie now.
I am very cursory on my comic knowledge. I'll just be honest here.
Yeah.
But he wrote this comic book about a guy that was a pulp Western writer. And maybe it was called Pulp. I think that is it's called Pulp. And the the guy basically gets pulled into a real life story of fighting like Nazis and shit. And it is such a great comic book. I'll
Like
have
he gets
to
page mastered.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up.
Fucking.
I
Hey,
don't
don't
know.
talk shit about Macaulay
I like-
Culkin's career.
I like Page Master. I like that movie actually.
That movie
I don't know
is
if I can bring this
fucking
stuff up.
classic. That
It
movie
is,
does
dude.
not get enough credit. Like,
No,
hands
it really
down, it does
doesn't.
not.
It doesn't. It's just as good as the old Disney movies. Fuck that. I like that movie a lot.
I think it's better than a lot of the old ones. You get a hit on a lot of classic literature, the themes within them, the processing them. It is a fantastic film. I will die on that hill.
Are you
Yeah,
talking
Page
the
Master's
Macaulay
awesome.
Culkin movie?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I have never seen it because I heard horrible things about it, and it was when I graduated high school the year.
Yeah,
that
you're too
came out.
old. You're too old for that.
Basically, you heard terrible things because all your friends wanted to be adult and cool and not talk about kid
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, it's a kids movie, man. Like I'm sure. Well, Charlie, how old are you? Just off the top.
35.
So
Oh.
I'm 34. So yeah, see, that's why.
I'm
it's
fucking
where,
old compared
yeah,
to
you're
you,
fucking old man. Fucking doesn't like Page Master.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said I haven't seen it because
It's a good kids movie for sure. Like, I mean, that movie was
even
cool
if you
because
take it out
like,
of context, even if you take it out of context as a kids movie, you're looking at the exploration of themes because he has like his sidekicks are the different genres. It's horror, it's fantasy, adventure. Adventure's
Yep.
a pirate dude. He's pretty cool. But you hit on like Treasure Island, you hit on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yep.
And there's
Moby
all
Dick
of
is
those
the big one.
Moby Dick, yep.
it's got
Like
Christopher
that.
Lloyd in it, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, he
Lloyd.
is the Page Master, right?
Yep.
Patrick
He's
Stewart's in
the
it. Wow.
the librarian.
Yeah.
Ed
What a
Begley
cool
Jr.
that also that transition in that movie when like he hits his head and the painting.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
The transition
that's
between live action to animation is stellar.
yeah. It's a good one.
I might actually check this out just because of the cast.
Dude, it has I don't know why it wasn't
Friends
like
shit on it for no reason. You need to go back to those friends and be like, hey.
Well, I think you're
kick 'em in the
absolutely
shins,
right, though.
and then be like,
it was like everybody wanted to be cool edgelords back in '94 when I was 18, and
let's
you
be
guys
honest,
weren't even born.
They still want to be cool edgelords. Okay. Did you say 94, 84?
94.
94,
94. I was 5. Thank you very
5,
much.
yeah. I know. I
You
thought
said
of
I
that
wasn't
after
even
I
born,
said it.
so just dropping a little knowledge on you, Dave.
You know what? Fuck, I'm ending this shit right now. I've had it. This is not the gang up on Dave. This is Dave and Deeter, not Charlie and Deeter gang up on Dave.
I mean, we can have talks if we want to change the show name. That's okay.
Yeah, I'll just give you my fucking login to Streamlabs and you can have it. I'm done. Welcome to Charlie's world.
As opposed to Bobby's world. There you go. There's a throwback for you.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Whoops, I hit the wrong button. I almost did close.
I'll throw this one out there. Let's get this argument going. Who's the best out of the we'll get back into the Halloween realm, the spooky season stuff. So who's your favorite big iconic Halloween 80s, 90s, 2000s slasher character? And I'm talking the big ones. Yeah, I knew you were going to do Michael Myers. I'm a Voorhees guy. I'm Jason all the way.
Voorhees is a close second for me because Halloween is very special to me, or not Halloween. Friday the 13th movies are very special to me because of me and my youngest watching them so frequently together that I love those movies. But for me, it'll always be the Captain Kirk mask. Man.
Yeah. The Shape.
Yep, The Shape.
You're talking to a real horror fan when they don't refer to him as Myers. They refer to him
Just
as
The
the
Shape.
Shape. Yeah.
I have to go with Halloween. And I say this for the reason that in the first Friday the 13th, it isn't even fucking Jason killing everyone.
Well, right. It's not.
That's what I like about the movie, though, is that it subverts
No.
everything.
Yeah, but then you follow it up and it is.
But what you could also say that would really throw people off is say that Pamela Voorhees is your favorite slasher movie villain.
See, that I would be willing to say. Willing to say.
Because
that's wild.
Like that whole scene where the girl that survives is coming out of the cabin and she hears, "Help me, help me."
Let's go slightly more obscure here. You guys seen My Bloody Valentine?
Yep,
that's a good one. Yep. It's a good one. That one has a little place in my heart because it's a miner that's killing everyone.
Yep.
And I'm in coal country in Pennsylvania, so it's like, all right, I get this one. I think that's cool.
The hot dog water scene, dude.
They remade that quite a few years ago, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they did. All right. What is your
Nobody
favorite?
said Freddy though. No Freddy fans in the
Freddy's
at all.
so fucking lame to me. Like a guy that got burned to death and then has a claw for a hand. You know what? And I wish I still had the picture on my desktop.
First of all, it's a diddler that got burned to death.
Yeah.
That's true. Like you support pedophilia if you're a huge Freddy fan. There.
God damn it.
Are you gonna make a shirt that says that, Dave?
If you like Nightmare on Elm Street,
pedophilia, stop Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's my hot
take.
I
get why Freddy. I mean, you can't shit on Robert Englund's.
No, but you can shit on
him being Freddy.
Concept of Freddy Krueger. Like I just think he's like the fact that he beat Jason Voorhees bothers me.
Did he win? I don't remember if he won.
Well, it's kind of a draw, but he manhandled him a few times, and it's like, dude, if you put Kane Hodder in front of Robert Englund,
I thought at the end Jason Voorhees cut off his head and it winks.
Yeah, he does. Jason wins in the end of that movie.
I thought it was a draw.
No, because Jason wins. I think wins. It is like a draw.
That would even be a contest. Yeah.
I hate that shit though in that movie though when he makes like Jason like covered in water or whatever, and he like turns back into like a crying kid.
Yeah,
and it's like. They did that in like we just recently watched Jason Takes Manhattan again, and it's like when did they ever imply in like the lore
that water bothered him?
He was afraid of water, or that was his fucking weakness because he drowned. Like that's how dumb.
He thrived. He'd like get around the camp going through water.
Yeah.
Like how many times did he come stomping out of the lake to scare the living shit out of someone on the shore of the beach? And
where they go swimming and they get pulled under or whatever. Like,
he
was never
he
afraid
fucking
of the
jumps
water.
out of the lake at the end of the first movie.
Yeah. Yep. The boy. Did you find the boy? There was no boy, ma'am.
Well, getting back to our anti-pedophilia talk, have you guys ever seen the safe space signs, like the road signs that are like safe place, and it's like one adult with its hands on like a child in front of it, like it's keeping it safe, but it just looks wrong. Look up. It's either safe place or safe space.
That's not. I'm not jiving with that at all.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna pop this up on screen.
That is legitimately a street sign that they had like posted and up and everything, and it was just a poor choice. I'm gonna like they shifted it in later years to the place being a house.
Yeah.
But
Ooh,
the
what
initial
the hell?
iteration of it was a poor choice.
They messed up.
Oh, they messed up.
They
They
goofed.
messed up. Give me 1 second here.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Come on.
like,
I remember we had one of those like by the YMCA by my high school.
Man, that's
uh,
just F.
and that's the sign that's
fact
out
that
front
it-
of Diddy's mansion, man. Like that's
Yeah. That's
That's like-
outside of Neverland.
That's one of those
Sorry.
like a very
oh, what a thriller!
Oh man, beat
Don't
it, Deeter.
worry.
Beat it.
we're gonna take care of you. We got plenty of baby oil.
It glistens in the moonlight. Oh
Your skin
shit!
will
Yeah,
never
let's
be
get.
softer.
We need to get back to horror movies and get away from this subject.
I thought that
Like,
was a horror
Yeah.
movie.
that's more than a horror movie. That's like, yeah, no,
A
That's
horror
too real.
reality.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm talking about like the big classic characters. Like I know that Bubba gets thrown in there as a
Candyman
classic
technically
character.
qualifies now.
I guess so. That I liked those movies. I mean, they're big. They're like they had a following. Candyman,
Candyman, Pinhead.
Pinhead's another one.
I forgot about.
Weirdly enough, though, the fucking weird thing about those Hellraiser movies, like we watched them, like I think it was last year. Me and my fiance were like, let's just watch a bunch of the Hellraisers, and we'd only watch the first two because like the rest of them suck ass. But they're not. The Cenobites are like fucking really not in the movie that much at all. Like, so, and everyone talks about how like the second one's like the best one, and I gotta disagree. Like, I don't even think they're not.
You've seen the new one?
I don't. Yeah, I actually like the new one more than
I
the
like
original.
the new one. Yep.
Like, and that might be. I might be like talking like, that might be blasphemy to some people, but like that new one was fucking really good. Like, I like it way more than the old ones.
Well, back to what you were saying about them not being that much in it. That's kind of the point I was trying to hit on earlier in terms of monster movies. Like there are some where you either don't see or you barely see them at all.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man.
That's a big one. No, yeah.
Signs.
Yeah.
I hate that movie.
I'm not saying it was great. I'm not saying it was a good movie. I'm just saying it's an example of that format.
There's a couple scenes in that movie that are really fucking creepy, though.
There's some shit that's just LOL.
It's like the Sophie's Choice thing. You never see the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that definitely what makes a good monster movie in general is that they don't fucking blow their load and show the monster like right off the bat. Keeping it near that, like right at the end of where the movie hits its peak.
Like the Fly,
where you should see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The Fly is like, we want to get into like body horror and like Cronenberg shit. That's like a whole thing. Like,
I think we do that. They have said with the new Wolfman movie, don't expect to see him for more than 20 minutes in the movie.
Good. That's a good thing.
Yep.
That's how it should be.
Yep.
Like, really.
They say you might see his arm or like the snout for a few seconds, but you won't get the full body shot.
Yeah, you want that. You want that apex moment in the movie is when they reveal the fucking werewolf.
Yep.
Like,
well, you need that suspense. You need that draw. Like that anticipation is
Predator did it. You didn't see the Predator until the end of the fucking movie.
Correct.
I mean, Alien. Well.
You saw the tail, you saw the head. You like when he sees the water dropping, or the drips, and Jonesy meows at it. You
Yeah.
see its head, but then you don't see anything other than like its tail pull up into the rafters and stuff like that. You don't get the full on shot until she's getting onto the escape pod.
Yeah.
I was talking about it. I think it was with my partner last week. We were talking about the movie Life. Do you guys remember that one?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Nope.
I might. I might have seen it, and that's the thing. Like, I don't.
Bunch of astronauts out in space. They're doing some research and everything. They end up coming across something. It ends up being alive. It's in like a containment unit. They've got
It's
the
like a
glove
parasite or
apparatus.
something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, cuts through that, digs its way into one guy, infects, works its way through, spreads. Yeah, we were talking about it for the climax of the movie where one of them ejects themselves from a pod trying to get away from the ship, thinking that they're going to crash themselves into the sun because they're infected, and that the other one's going to go to Earth. It opens at the end. You find out they swapped. They both went the wrong direction.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I remember seeing it and I liked it, but it's like I am. Like, I'm really bad with titles.
Ryan Reynolds was in it. The yeah, it also had, God, what is his name? He's been in a lot of, he was in I believe he was in Shogun.
I gotta watch that still.
Here we go. No. Jake Gyllenhaal was in it. Rebecca Ferguson, Ryan Reynolds, Hiroyuki Sanada. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, well, that could be, Japanese horror.
Yeah, he was Shogun, Last Samurai, 47 Ronin,
yes.
John Wick Chapter 4. He was
he was Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Phenomenal actor.
Yeah, he's like a really good actor. He's awesome. I want to see, like I just brought up before, like, that's something we didn't talk about either. Japanese horror. How different, how fucking crazy and different it is.
Yep.
Like,
Junji Ito.
A big one, huge. My fiance is like in love with all of his work. She has a Junji Ito tattoo on her leg. So like, and so does my stepdaughter. No, my fiance has, the story with the balloon heads.
Yes.
She has his two cats, Junji Ito's cats, as the balloon heads on her thigh. And my stepdaughter has a Tomie tattoo on her arm.
Nice.
It's her face. It's her face coming out of the water, but then the reflection on the water is all messed up.
Distorted. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like a big one. Like, I know a lot about Junji Ito just from them loving his work and stuff, but I mean, he's been around forever too. Like, he doesn't get, I don't think he gets enough props for what he's done. But movie wise, I mean, I've seen a lot of crazy Japanese horror movies. I mean, what's the big ones are like The Ring, I guess. Sadako is like
significantly better than the American release of The Ring.
It is, yeah, it's super good, way better. But like Sadako, like, she's like pretty much like the big, like, Japanese horror icon character too. Like, while we have like Freddy and stuff and Jason and Myers, like Sadako is like the big one for Japan, I think, for sure.
Well, it's all based off of their the Onis.
Yeah, yokai. I believe the correct term for what kind of ghost she is an onryo, or something like that.
Yes, that is correct.
I have not seen that much Japanese horror, sadly. So
there's a lot of good shit out there. I mean, look at Silent Hill. That's all Japanese horror, really.
Yeah.
Like, or at least inspired by it.
I did a
I mean,
killer.
no, well, the Konami teams were all it's all Japanese. I mean, Resident Evil's Japanese too, really, if you think about it.
To be
The
fair,
dialogue in the game shows you that.
it's a mix. I would say it's a mix because primarily they're pulling from Jungianism
Oh, you're gonna do
from
that.
Carl Jung.
Yeah,
All of his,
you know.
yeah. I mean, that's really where it is. What is reality? How does it define? Do our dreams define our reality, or does our reality define our dreams? Which one is real? Do either one make each other real? Are they, it very, very existential. Very existential. I did
With the
a
Silent Hill
killer.
stuff, yes, it's psychological as well as it's monsters.
That
I mean,
fucking horn when it goes off.
oh, dude,
Yeah.
the siren. I'll tell you what, we still have. I haven't heard it in a while. We have a fire company that's still in my area that has one of those horns, and they used to blow it when there was a fire in town. So, like, I grew up with Silent Hill and that stuff, and I used to hear that fucking horn when it used to go off.
You'd
Like, and it
finish
would go off in the
playing,
middle
turn
of
off
the night.
your
Worse after you
PlayStation, and
watched
hear.
it.
Yeah.
No, it's real.
Like, you'd hear it, like, we'd be out in the garage drinking or whatever, and, like, you'd hear it, and I'm like, all right, guys, grab a bunch of shit. Here we go.
I did a killer campaign that was like heavily Jungianism, Silent Hill inspired, where particularly Silent Hill 2, you know how, I mean, spoiler alert, he ends up coming to the conclusion that he killed his wife by smothering her with the pillow, and
Yeah, James
does come
killed
back
Mary. Yeah.
So I had each one of the characters have something in their past that they did that was really fucked up that affected the world, and that they didn't remember that they did. They gave me background stories, and I altered that with their permission and had them come across that as it progressed.
Oh, that's
into the understanding.
That's so good. That's perfect.
And then we ended up TPKing, which wasn't great, but it was basically how they dealt with it was going to determine, because they were in the process of going through seramorphosis.
Oh,
and
no.
so they were
Dude,
all
holy
linked.
shit.
They were
Yeah,
all
okay.
linked together in that space, and that's why they were partying together in the area where they couldn't escape. So how they dealt with that was going to determine whether or not they turned.
Oh, wow. That's some good shit. That's some really good shit.
Yeah.
You're mixing
I was proud
Cosmic
of myself.
Horror, you're throwing in the Silent Hill stuff. Like, that's a good campaign idea.
Yeah, I'd have
100%.
them periodically come into consciousness, see themselves in like some sort of ceremonial robe, like the garb that the mind flayers wear. I didn't describe it too much mind flayery, but enough that they were on stone slabs and all strapped down to the tables and everything, and like with a big headache, and then they'd go back into the Silent Hill area.
I have a friend
cool.
that wanted to do a Silent Hill style campaign, and he's had the ideas for years, and he wanted to do it in a way that it was like, let's mix Silent Hill with Ravnica from Magic the Gathering and do like the endless town.
Okay.
And like why you're trapped there as like a purgatory or something like that. And
Okay.
he's had that idea for a while. I mean, I don't know a ton of stuff about it, but like he's talked about that for a while. And it's just like, there's nothing there. Like, it's like weird because it's a weird idea and you don't know how to do it. Like, it's a good idea, but like, how do you run something like that? But man, I'll tell you what,
music,
like,
a lot of like real, it's a lot of atmosphere, because if you can maintain atmosphere when they come into the session and are going through it, that'll kind of help steer everything, because it's really easy when you're playing D&D to get like into like, yeah, let's go fuck shit up mindset.
fucking yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But
I was, you know what? That's like perfect. I wanted, because I did want to touch on this tonight, because me and Dave have talked about this a little bit, like privately, but like horror is a very hard genre to do at the tabletop, I think.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Yep. It is so
Like,
hard to do.
It is, because you can't really make someone scared,
Hold on.
there has to be, well, there's so many degrees of separation, obviously. That's why video games are, I think, horror wise, like there's so much there. I think horror video games, if they're good, are better than a horror movie, personally,
Yeah.
because the
Yes,
interaction.
I would
Well,
agree.
It's not
Because
just the interaction, but the
the
what's the
immersion.
word? The immersion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the first Silent Hill. That's what sucked so hard about the initial remake of it. The fog, the rendering of the fog, which was done due to the limitations
Yeah,
of
the draw
of
distance
the
to PlayStation. Yeah.
visual
Yeah.
processing. Yeah. Added so much to the atmosphere, and then when they
That
remade it
fucking
and
thing's
did away
scary.
with like the degree of the fog, and it's like, no.
My fiance just started the Silent Hill 2 remake today, so I'll hear about that, I'm sure.
I think,
Yeah.
Zach, you and I talked about this, but Charlie, have you ever heard of the game 10 Candles?
No.
It is a
Me and you did talk about that.
Yeah, I
Just
thought
me and you,
so.
though. It
But it
wasn't
is a
online. I
game
don't
where
think it was
you
online.
basically know going into it you're gonna die. Like, you don't live through the game. But
Okay.
as events happen and people die in the game, you start with like 10 candles lit at the center of the table.
Okay.
And that's the only light you have in the room, is those 10 candles. And as characters die in the game, you extinguish a candle. So by the time you get down to the last survivor, you've got one candle, the GM, and the one player, because you literally, as the players die, you have them leave. It's like, have a good night. Game's over for you. And it gets down to just the player, the final person, and the GM. And it is, I'll send you some links of Ivan Van Norman and people playing it, because
Oh,
it
they're
is
fun to
such a
watch.
So
fucking
it
sick
sounds
game.
it sounds really great in terms of like immersion and the experience. It sounds like it really fucking sucks if you're the first or second person to die.
Yeah, you miss out on everything, but that's
I
kind
think
of
a
the
lot
point.
of
You're dead.
people let people just sit in on the rest of it, though.
Yeah,
Right? You know what would be an effective way to do that?
a curtain.
I was gonna say you just set up a camera in the room and then have it stream into another room in the house or whatever,
Yeah, you
where
could
they can
use
sit
like
in
something
and
like
just
this platform for it. And
Oh,
Exactly.
dude, it would be cool. Like, you do something where it's like you got the 10 candle session camera, right?
Yeah.
And then when someone dies, they go to another room and then they watch it like a horror movie and then get to see the other players' reactions as the session goes on.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, that's
I
what
have
we're
this.
doing.
You know, we
I
can
talked
do
to
that.
Dave about this one game I
No
have.
big
It's
deal.
it's a weird game. It's called The Zone, and you're supposed to play that. It's a GM-less game, and it's the essence of it is like you are exploring like a weird zone that's been demilitarized, and it's very inspired by like Annihilation, the movie,
Mhm.
or any of those like other weird like kind of like a weird something's weird happening, like altering reality stuff. And you're supposed to play that. You go into that knowing that everyone's gonna die at some point, and you're supposed to play that under the light of glow sticks, like just glow sticks laid out on the table, like the break green glow, and that's how that's supposed to be played. Like they talk about that, and then I think we're starting to see that a lot more, like where the game is telling you to incorporate some kind of ambiance if it's horror genre related. Because like, who the fuck's gonna get scared or at least not immersed into the thing if we're sitting in a bright ass fucking kitchen all around
You can do it. You can do it. Real
Yeah.
easy. Real easy. Real easy. Your passive perception's this, right? Okay, thanks. Roll some dice. Okay.
Oh, Well, that's basically DM tension shit. It's why you
Right.
roll dice behind a screen and it's not for anything.
My dude. That's all it is the tension.
Right.
You do that, and then you get them wrapped up enough into the characters where you rip fucking something away from them,
Mhm.
and it hurts.
Oh yeah,
Whether it's
absolutely.
supplies, whether it's an NPC, whether it's because you could do the lingering injuries and severe
Oh.
injuries. They have the chart for that. Lose an eye, lose a limb.
Yeah.
Real
Well,
easy to
another
build that up.
I played some
You
pretty
have
like
no
very, I
weapons. You have
ran
to
some very
improvise,
dark
find stuff.
stuff. So like I ran dark stuff like where with lingering injuries and critical effects and everything like that. But I think maybe I'm just saying that I'm a fan of the idea of those extra steps to make a dark room with like 10 candles.
If you
Like,
are
that's
able
cool
to
me.
do it, hands down, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Yeah.
It is going to significantly add so much more to it.
You know,
I'm
a
just saying
game
you don't
I
have to
like
be locked
campy shit,
into
is what I'm
just having
saying.
that. Well, I think we all do. To be honest, that's why we play.
right. But a game that adds tension in a very weird way. Let me get it right.
I love how it's
Dread.
just like dread.
Red.
What is this?
I don't know anything about that.
Dread, you play with a
Same.
Jenga tower. And you come up to an event, say a werewolf's chasing you, and you want to jump over this ravine that might be a little too wide, or you want to do something to get away from this werewolf. Jumping across a ravine was a stupid fucking thing to say because you'd never make it. But you want to like try to
maybe you
shimmy
would.
down the wall of the ravine and get away from the werewolf. You got to pull from the Jenga tower. It starts out with easy shit, like you're running through the woods. All right, pull the piece. Oh yeah, well, boom. But when you've got the tower built up this tall, and you've got the GM saying the werewolf is right behind you and about to grab you, pull the fucking piece. It's adds attention to the game.
Yeah.
That
Please,
I can see that.
and then when the Jenga tower falls, everybody's dead.
please send me the info on that, Dave.
Yeah,
I
will. It's
Yeah.
by Ninth Level Games. I know that. And Chris O'Neill is. Oh, no, wait. No, that is not. It is by. I can't read this. Jesus, my eyes are so bad. The
That's what
Impossible
happens when you're
Dread.
born when Page Master is not a cool thing. And
Shut your shithole right now. You son of
my
a
sphincter's
bitch.
nice and tight, buddy.
You shut it. I'm trying. Yeah, it says right here, Dread is a horror game. There is no reason that the content of any game is more horrifying. But yeah, you play it with Jenga. And
No, I want to do that. I'm already sold on that hook. I'm
Yep.
sold on it.
And it's like
That's
10
cool.
candles. It's kind of a twist of 10 candles in a way. You've got this tower that starts out completely sturdy and you're pulling shit from it and the characters die as like shit happens. And then when the
Yeah.
tower dies, that means everybody dies.
I'm
I'll
just
be right
saying,
back, guys.
there's
I'm
no
gonna.
reason.
All right.
I'm just saying, there's no reason we couldn't do something like 10 candles on here.
No, not at all. You could be like, turn out your lights. Do something like in the from Halloween when they're watching the Doctor, when they're watching the shows and it's like, or maybe it was Halloween 3. I can't remember, where it's like, turn out the lights and watch the movies, and do something like that along there and make people play in a certain atmosphere. Like turn out all the lights in your room. And because with having, you've got to wear headphones.
Yeah.
And you do shit with like a soundboard that will be like a tink, tink or something in their ear.
And then once people die, you can
have
kill
them
their
leave the
mic.
stream.
You kill their mic, kill their camera.
Yeah. And then it's just like, with him gone, he just died.
Yeah.
Now it's just you and I.
Yep.
Yeah, horror is the most, in my opinion, when it comes to RPGs, one of the most typically poorly done And well, it's poorly done because people will try to do it. They think that like just Strahd himself is horrifying. You can make Strahd fucking horrifying.
That's
You
not
could
the
take
point of it, though.
Ravenloft. Hmm?
The whole point of Ravenloft, though, isn't that Strahd is terrifying.
It's that
It's
the realm.
what I will argue with you on this. I don't think it's necessarily the realm itself. It's what people are willing to do and allow themselves to do. Like, look at
survive.
the pacts with the dark gifts and everything.
Yeah.
How many of your principles are you willing to compromise as you go along this journey to an end
To
goal? And by
survive.
the time you get there,
What have you
are
become?
any better than the thing that you're trying to
Yeah.
destroy?
No, you're right. You're right. But like, oh, I would love to make something on. Have you read I can't even think of the name of the book, Van Richten's Guide to the Realms or whatever it is. That's got the
I've
30 different.
perused it.
Like, I would like to set something up on one of the islands
Yeah,
where you
that'd
could
be pretty
see
cool.
the mainland of Barovia,
I
like
just
kind of like being way
yeah.
offshore in like Miami or something, where you would be able to see the lights of Castle Ravenloft or something. But
I
it
just
keeps.
I just backed something and for way more money than they should. um,
But Zach does not
from
do that. I don't know what to tell you, but
some
no, we're just fucking around.
from
What do I
Monty
not
Cook
do?
Games.
I do a lot of
I don't know
things.
if you guys are familiar with Monty Cook Games at all.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
did you
of course.
back the Dark Woods or whatever it is?
Darkest Woods. Yeah, I just
I
backed
backed
that.
that
I did the
too.
whole kit so I could get Darkest House too.
Yep, I want to get Darkest House, and they also did the Appalachia game there.
They did the Appalachia, and they also did the Magnus Archives
Yes.
game, which is how I heard of them initially.
Oh,
Yep.
Old Gods of
What I
Appalachia.
find amazing about them making all these horror movies is them having being the folks that basically created the safety list. You know what I'm talking? I can't. It's not called the safety list, but the
safe word stuff and all that shit.
Yeah, they're the ones that basically crafted that list, and then the next thing you see is them drop like 5 horror games in a row, and I almost wonder if that was like the precursor of like, hey guys, get ready because we're about to fuck with everything that you think you know about.
Well, hands down, you know that was a discussion that they had. How do we cover our asses before we drop this? This is something we want to do.
Yeah, I think I hit something without intending to that they probably put out. What is that? I can't think of what that's called.
We're actually supposed. My group at home here. We're going to start an Old Gods of Appalachia game on November 1st.
You bastard! I wish I could play.
Drive down to Pennsylvania, brother. Jared's the one that's running it. It actually takes place in my hometown during like the turn of the century. He did a ton of research. It's awesome.
The consent in gaming. Awesome. That's what it is. But they absolutely had to have put that out as a precursor to all the games.
That is a big thing that you need to do before any horror campaign, though.
Yeah.
Is going over
if you get someone that
table.
had some weird, like offbeat, traumatic thing happen to them that you don't know about, and you get all these things handed in private.
Yeah, well, like no diddling kids. Like, well, you know what I mean?
You know, like, it's if you wanted to put someone like that in a game, like as a if you wanted to put like if you wanted to make a game that was the prequel to Nightmare on Elm Street. You would have to put that in the game, because if your objective is to hunt down a killer with a knifed glove that has been doing that,
kidnapping children,
kidnapping children,
and you're not saying that exactly, and it's not necessarily saying
so you don't have to have the descriptive stuff, but even that subject matter could greatly affect somebody that had lived through something like that.
They need here's the way that I see it, right? And it's how you go about it, and it's also that's what a session. I mean, some people do the session 0 thing. Like, I play with a home group at a table. Like, we don't do session 0. It's more so it's a bunch of friends bullshitting beforehand what we're gonna play, and nobody's really like iffy with any kind of content stuff. But I
that's
could
all you
definitely
knowing
see,
everybody. But if you bring in a new person,
yeah, you got to watch, and it's how you go about things. It's like in my experience, it's the description, right, and it's the implication. Like, you don't need to go, like, I think it's like
If it
you can
thematically
imply
serves a
something that
plot
has
point,
happened, like an orc,
Yeah.
or you could depict an orc, grabbing a human woman or whatever, and you kind of know, like, that whole thing. Like, if you want to depict orcs as these really dark, savage things,
it
like,
looks like he's walking towards his tent with her.
yes, or
fade black.
yeah, like, or that, like, you can put those really dark things into a game, but you don't need to implicate it in a way that, like, oh, well, then this happens, and then you see this happening, or, like, even if you
don't
do
need it.
see something happening, you see something that's like, whatever, I don't know, like, the right way to
It's
say it, and I
it's
obviously
not
can't go.
being obscenely explicit for the sake of just shock value.
Yeah, you don't need to do shock value
Yeah.
at the table.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but there's even shit like, say, fuck, like, say,
gore is even another thing. Like, a lot of us, like, I think a lot of people that play tabletop games generally think that gore doesn't bother people, and that's another thing I think that
bothers a
gets
lot of
looked over.
people.
It does. Like, I it doesn't bother me really. Like, in the aspect of, like, especially when you're getting a kill, like a really cool kill on a bad guy, right?
Yeah, I
There's
worked
a way.
as an EMT for 5 years, so
Yeah, exactly. Like, everyone's kind of jaded from video games and movies and that kind of shit, right? So, but you still gotta watch. Like, you gotta watch what you're playing with, especially if you're running games at, like, a convention and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
especially.
has to be there. There's a reason it has to be there. Now, do I dog on the whole X card thing? Yeah, of course I fucking do. But I would never want to run a game at a convention and make someone feel uncomfortable to the point where they're like, I didn't have a good time. That's not the thing. You're trying to when everyone sits down or whatever, because I don't play with random people that often, unless when I'm running at a convention. You say, like, listen, this is the themes of the adventure. This is what's there. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah. Okay, cool. Whatever. So I don't know. Like, it's all the way. It's like what you guys said. It's the way you go about it. Like, you don't need to be. That's like, you don't need to be the fucking edgelord and, like, I'm gonna shock horror my fucking players. Like,
Well, it's not
there's
even
a
that. Like,
level.
on the Monty Cook list, they have terrorism being one of them. And it may sound weird, but think about if you've got a kid that was 7 years old when 9/11 happened and his dad was in the World Trade Center, and you're playing like Delta Green and you want to have some kind of terrorist shit in there, that could fuck that kid up.
Or how about somebody that came from a Middle Eastern
A Middle
country or
Eastern country
something
that
and
lived
has
through
had
it
to
for
deal with that
years.
their whole life?
Then you're walking into something where it's like, you don't want to make them feel like they're singled out at the table because of the themes of an adventure.
Exactly.
Right. Like, have you ever seen the list, Zach?
I'm sure I have.
I was going to
I'm
pop
sure
it
I
up
have.
if you hadn't. But it's
pop
got
it up.
things like cancer, claustrophobia, and
Put it up for
I think it's
posterity's
great
sake.
to have it. Like,
Pop it up for posterity's sake.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's streamed. It's living in the ether. Might as well pop it up.
Yep. Let me do the share screen.
Answer's a weird one, I think, but I mean, hey.
But still, like, if somebody, like, say I just lost my mom to cancer,
I mean,
Yeah.
I have
No,
done
I get that. I
several-
mean, I think
Yeah.
everybody. I think that there's everybody in the that's dealt with losing somebody to something to that
Yeah.
disease. So
I mean, this is a nice format because you're just giving it to each player. They fill it out on their own.
Right.
It saves all
In
that
my
awkward
case, I would just
discussion.
mark something that were a red light for me, so to speak.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily check off things that I'm good with. I'd be like, if I weren't good with it, don't put it in there.
yeah, I don't think I
Yeah.
would go through and green light all the things I'm green light with because then it feels like I'm then
Well, it
Then I
feels
feel
like you're
like I'm
saying,
doing a
let's make
job.
this fucking shock value for some of
Yeah.
the things, you know?
But
Like
it's like
gore,
shit like
if everybody green lights it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, let's
pregnancy,
make this a
miscarriage, or
story.
abortion right there.
Yep.
Like, I mean, like I've dealt with a miscarriage before. Like that was fucking rough.
Sexual assault. I mean,
you know what I
it goes
mean?
back to what Zach was
Yeah.
saying about the orc. Starvation, terrorism, torture. Like, you know, if the first time I ever saw this, I'm like, that's a little weird. But then I had to think about it. And I'm like, no, that makes sense because of like what you were saying. If somebody comes from a country where terrorism's a prominent daily occurrence,
Mhm.
you don't want to put, or even a veteran, think about that had to deal
Yeah.
with IEDs and shit like that. You don't want to trigger their PTSD bringing up like IEDs in a game, you know?
I do like the fade to black explicit between PCs, NPCs between PCs.
Yep.
All right, listen. I've been playing fucking tabletop games since I was a kid, right? And long like
Yeah.
forever, right? I personally do not want to sit there and listen to my fat male friends go into explicit detail
No.
about how they knocked up a succubus. Don't.
But your other
Don't
fat male friend might want to hear that
Yeah,
fat male
well,
friend.
that's fucking weird. Stop it. Like,
Hey, what Dave
No.
does is his business.
Hey, I've lost weight once.
I lost weights. I can't find them. I used to lift them.
and nothing against my buddies that might watch this, but fuck you guys. How's that? Take that one.
I think that's the point. They're kind of wanting to get some of that.
I
God,
want the
man,
succubus. I'm
I'm
grab
just
a drink. I'll
saying.
be right back.
Like, I think that one is like, that's a little weird to me. Like, maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No. I'm in agreement there. Like I'm just dogging on you, but it's uncomfortable. Like for fucking sure, dude.
Like,
It's
I want to kill monsters, not fucking like.
Now it's
Not
one
saying
thing
that
if you're
romance.
doing. It's one
go
thing if
ahead.
you're doing a little bit of the flirt play in order to get information or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
Like a bard would do.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
don't
another
even
thing
think. I
if you're
think.
like, nice shoes. Wanna
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. I think that
What are
like
those?
what are those? What I don't think romance in a
Masticate
tabletop game
puppies.
is a bad idea. You know, like I don't think it's not bad. I mean, it is character. It is character. It does. You can make some really cool stories and stuff with that stuff, but
Master gave Darby a ball gag.
I'm free.
I am sexually liberated.
Oh shit! You almost made me choke.
well, yeah, Dobby was choking
That's what
too.
she
so.
said.
Jesus Christ. I did not check this box, okay? Let's fucking get the hell away from this subject matter.
Yeah, how do we go from like horror to
Well,
real horror?
have you ever seen Hostel?
Yeah.
That's a good segue
The
from
movie?
gag ball to the
movie,
Bubblegum
yeah.
Gang. Yeah. I fucking hate that movie.
Do you
That
really?
movie makes me feel. It's not that I dislike it. I hate that movie. Viscerally hits me so hard. Like when they're
Because it
hammering
can
shit
see
under the
fucking-
fingernails and shit, and it's
Yeah.
like fuck. I would like. Oh,
I don't like shock horror. I don't like it
No.
at all. I don't like it because I think it's fucking cheap.
my fucking fingers are tingling right now just thinking of
Like
some of the scenes in that
Like
movie.
the some of the sequels to like Human Centipede, like
Yeah.
where it's just gross shit to just put it in there just
Gross
to
shit.
fucking do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. It bothers me a lot.
There's no art behind it. Not really.
No, it's just there to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gore for the sake of gore.
It's like I spit on your grave. Like that shit just makes me uncomfortable. You don't need to. I don't know. Like, if you guys know what that is,
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's a girl gets the R word, and then it's a revenge flick. But it's
Okay.
the way that it's depicted is like
The Crow?
The Crow.
Crow.
No, I spit on your grave.
Yeah, but
Wait, what did
there's
well,
revenge.
yeah, but no. Wait,
Charlie.
what? I'm lost here.
I'm not. He's trying to draw a comparison between The Crow and I Spit on Your Grave.
That's like that's like way. I don't.
You haven't known Charlie as long. God, how long have you and I known each other? What, about 6-7 years now?
Oh God. I knew you
If
for
not a
what,
little
like a
longer?
year? Was it a year or two before my ex split and went
It was
crazy?
a few years before that.
Okay,
too, huh?
so that was 2021. Oh
Really?
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You, if you want a long stream on like some bullshit, I could do that, but that's
We'll wait till we're off air because
yeah.
Charlie got the sandpaper treatment, I guess would be the
Yeah.
way to.
Anyway,
Anyway, I've known you since
Hostile.
what, 20,
Speaking of the sandpaper,
2020, maybe 2019, something
I
like
think
that.
even before that, because of weren't you playing in the Crossroads West Marches too?
No,
No.
no.
So it's only been like
Was
4 or
not.
5 years. I thought it was longer than that.
where are you located, brother?
California, Bay
Oh
Area.
God. Never mind. We're never gonna see you in real life. I'm just kidding.
I mean, technically, I do have family out in Pennsylvania
Ah,
and Maryland.
the best state. Good old Pennsylvania.
Well, it's not Maine, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it here sometimes.
So well, it's fish people. That's what you deal with.
It
all
is
day long.
the fish people. Jesus, you missed some fun when we went to Total Con. It's a convention in Marlborough, Massachusetts. We went to the back rooms. Absolutely went to the back rooms.
Dude, I swear to God, we did.
You're aware of what the back rooms are, right?
Very much so. The liminal
The
space.
liminal horror
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
We went
Yeah.
to the back room.
Fucking liminal horror is amazing. Amazing.
Let Jay finish some of the crazy
Yeah,
shit,
please.
and then we could talk about liminal horror because there's some good shit out there.
We went to this gas station. It was so fucking foggy out, and the only thing you could see was this gas station, but it was lit with yellow light. So you get out and you can see the fog, this yellow fog just hanging literally inches from your face. It was the spookiest fucking shit. And then we go to like pull out of the place and you can't take a left. It didn't look like you could take a right. I think, wasn't that the night we got kind of lost?
Yeah, we were driving through like backwoods Massachusetts,
Yeah.
like in literally fog where like you can't see in front of your headlights. So we stop at this fucking gas station. As soon as we pull up, I'm in the back of the van and I turn to Dave and I'm like, we're gonna fucking die tonight. You know that, right? and we only, what did we stop there for? I think I stopped there for like cigarettes and drinks or something.
Yeah.
Like some Tales at the Gas Station shit.
Yeah, Dude, and we're driving through the back roads of Massachusetts trying to get back to our Airbnb, and I'm like, fish people. Like,
Fish
it's
people,
just,
yeah.
we're going to get attacked.
Yeah,
Right.
what is that, over Innsmouth?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's what it was going to be. Like, that's what it felt like that night.
He was going
It
to make
was
some
so
fish babies.
Well, the fucking gas station was so creepy because there was like nobody around. And there was like no one working there. Like we walked in and there's like, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Like, and then like, I don't know. There was somebody in there, wasn't there? Some person came out of the back or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had
That was
a
what was weird
similar-
about it is like, it was just fucking, it was a total HP Lovecraft back room liminal horror type situation. It was all of them just, I don't know how to explain, like how to really explain it. It's like we came into this weird intersection of the world.
Yeah.
So racism was present?
Well, it's Massachusetts. Boston's known as one of the most fucking racist cities up through the 70s and 80s.
Sounds extremely Lovecraftian then.
Yep.
Oh man, do I really? It was come on, like the guy grew up like it was a different time. Like
No, let's time out, because if you really want to talk about Lovecraft, you want to talk about like the recurring racism and the descent into insanity through most of his work, right? And if you look at what happened, like his mom literally fucking went crazy.
yeah,
And was put in there. It's what he knew. Racism was what he
What
knew
he
from his
knew,
piece of
yeah.
shit father.
well, yeah, and the fact that he was like he had to live in like ghettos filled with like immigrants and all kinds of stuff, like in New York and all this other stuff that like he was the way he was because of his environment.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
still not
condoning.
And he,
I'm not
he
condoning
also
like his
changed
world.
a lot
Just
towards the end of his
understand.
life.
Yeah,
Like a lot of people, like I'm a huge Robert E. Howard fan, like 100%. He's my favorite writer. I love Conan. That's my thing. A lot of people can dog on him for like the wording that he used when he wrote his stories and stuff. And it's just like, don't look at the language that was used and just inherently think that the man was racist. Like I'm not talking about Lovecraft. I'm talking about Howard, because he really wasn't.
You're looking at everything through the lens of the time period when it was written, which more things were not necessarily considered taboo. It was the normal, accepted vernacular for the time. Yeah, I get that.
You can't look at the vernacular and just assume that the man hated everyone, because for Howard specifically, he wasn't. Like there was none of that. Yeah, Lovecraft definitely had some issues with that stuff, but like I don't like the idea that they lumped all old pulp writers into that racism basket. I don't think that's fair.
All old D&D players, they say like all of you old grognards are fucking racist, sexist, and I'm like, dude, ask anybody.
Shut your racially unbiased mouth.
No, but it's like, it's like I hate the categorization of people, because that's like saying, all of us old D&D players are racist. Dude, I am so far removed from any of that bullshit.
Oh man, I started playing 2E.
I started with 3rd edition. That's what I started.
I did 2E, then moved backwards to AD&D, because one of the people in the group wanted to run AD&D. Then back to 2E for a while. Played a couple of games in 4E, 3.5, and most of it's
help you.
Yeah. Most of it's been 5th, and in like recent years, I've played Pathfinder 2.
We play my group for our main campaign plays Pathfinder 1st edition, because all of us grew up on 3.5, and that's pretty much Pathfinder 1E was 3.75. So,
well, it was a bunch of the people left and started.
Yep, Paizo. So, but with that pulp stuff too, is like they lean into the art too. is like saying that the art has some kind of ism attached to it, and it's like I don't think so. Like I don't find a problem with, you know, hot babes being in metal bikinis like killing people, because the male characters were they're just as
Oh,
ridiculous. They're
Conan wore
giant half
a
naked.
loincloth and looked like he
Well, what about
fucking
Al
Yeah.
did the
Jolson is the
carnivore
jazz
diet
singer?
for.
What's that?
Al Jolson is the jazz singer.
I'm not
Oh
familiar.
God, yeah.
Yeah, look it up. Yeah,
That's one thing I won't share on screen.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to look that up.
Well,
But I-
basically, what do you know what whiteface is? It's, or was it blackface? No, that's
it
what
was
it's called,
blackface that he was doing. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was like
Who? Yeah.
it was.
Like, bro,
Yeah,
I'm talking about like saying that Frazetta was a
Yeah.
sexist. Like that's I don't think that's ridiculous.
So you want to hear a funny story? I'm not like on a personal level friends with Gary Gygax's daughter, but there is an ad that was put out by TSR of, I can't remember exactly how it went, but of scantily clad females. And everybody's like, well, Gary Gygax was a sexist because of this ad being put out. He's a fucking sexist, a misogynist, and this and that. And then one day his daughter chimed in, and she's like, you know whose idea that was for the ad? And everyone's like, who? And he goes, this 17-year-old girl that was going to school for fashion design. Do you want to know what her name was? And everyone's like, well, who was it? Me. And so it's like the one thing that everybody was using is like the sledgehammer to nail Gygax, saying he was a misogynist, was his fucking like daughter's idea. You know?
Yeah. He's talking. It's the same thing with Frazetta. His wife did a lot of the poses.
Yeah.
Some of his
everything
paintings
through a lens.
because Ellie was. I think it was Ellie. I think that's her name. She was his muse. So like, that's what. I don't know. Like, it's again. There's nothing wrong with pulp art and that old shit. Like, if you like OSR stuff, like, you gotta like that's part of it, man. Like, you like it because of what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong. It's like the heavy metal shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
You are absolutely correct.
It's the lens and understanding everything in the time period that it was set in. I mean, like you look at anything, you take Shakespeare, for example. If you don't understand the dynamics that were going on in like socio-political areas and everything, half of the stuff is lost on you.
Yep.
It's context.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I think Zach and I had this conversation more privately about McCarthyism.
Oh yeah.
Was it you and I that talked about this? That I'll throw it right out there that it's come back, but on the other fucking side of the coin sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's like the cancel culture thing with shit, but it's because people aren't looking at things objectively. They're looking at the 1920s through a 2020s lens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I got extremely lucky with when all this stuff with my ex went down, was that I was lucky that the police listened to me.
Oh God.
And actually like, looked at the facts. Yeah.
Yeah, you were very lucky because you and I talked a lot through that period. Like, and yeah. Like, yep. We'll save that for when we go off the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the premise behind the Me Too movement and everything is in theory a very good thing. It's intended to out the wrongdoings that were actually there.
Like
the people like Weinstein. Witch hunt, then no, that's the thing.
Well, that's the human aspect of fucking everything, and that's what fucking sucks. That's why everything breaks and gets ruined. You can get a lot of things that look good on paper. People fuck it up.
Yeah, like Never mind.
Yeah. I already know where you were going to take it. But it's
Anyway,
like,
let's move on
like
from the
horror
fucking
movies,
political.
horror
like Nick
movies,
Cage
horror
movies,
movies.
right?
Yeah, so liminal horror. Let's go into that. Let's
Yes,
let's
please.
get out of the dreariness of reality, and let's
Right.
talk about
Let's
this
talk about
like this
fantasy
newest.
and escapism and
Yeah, let's talk about this new genre, this relatively new genre of horror that's kind of taken the world by storm in the last, like, I don't know, 10 years. It's definitely internet
A
era.
little bit more
Um,
because it. I'm trying to remember if it was when it first started.
Donnie Darko. I'd have to say it was one of them.
wow,
I'm
yeah, I
talking
didn't
about
even
like
think about that.
shit.
I mean, I'm thinking like liminal horror shit. Like I'm thinking a
Like
lot of
Backrooms.
like back rooms, like this weird internet stuff. There's a couple of channels out there, and I can't name them off the top of my head, but like
Like where
one
they'll
is
do
like
the urban
Silent Hill movie.
exploring.
yeah, the urban exploring stuff. There's one that's the Mandela something. I can't remember what it's called. Which is like this long series on YouTube, and it's kind of like they mix this like found footage kind of deal with that whole aspect of liminal horror. Like, there's all there's like the one that's they make ads and shit, like they're like old 90s 80s ads
Yeah.
for like, if you find this person in your house, like, call the whatever. And there's a lot of this shit on like all over the internet right now. It's very popular.
I can't think of what the name of it is. There's the one where the guy goes exploring like a set of stairs that go down, and he ends up like in an old mall.
Yeah,
And there's like the giant figure with like the big hands kind of creeping out, and it's like and it's like following him around, kind of in the same like found footage style. Yeah.
like that's the general thing with it. Like it's a lot of found footage. It's a lot of there's this one page on Instagram that I follow that it's like the whatever. I can't remember. I can't see it. That's the problem. I can't remember any of this shit, but I can explain it. They put out like warning ads that for like interdimensional travel, and it's so fucking wild, and like it's like very like, but they still hold up like that weird like public service announcement 80s kind of thing that they're doing with it.
It's fucking
And
poetic though, that you
it
can't
is.
remember the names, considering like the concept of liminal spaces and everything this is very familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on where it is or what it is.
I know, and because the thing is, it's like I see this shit in passing all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I'll see it and I'll send it to like friends and shit. I'm like, this is cool. But like, now I gotta like fucking make sure I write a note that when I start seeing this shit, I just send it to Dave. So it's like,
I mean, you get some of it in literature now too, like House of Leaves.
okay.
I don't know if you guys have ever read House of Leaves or looked at it. That whole thing is crazy.
House of Leaves. I'm gonna check that out and see if.
Yeah.
Man, this stuff is so good. Like it's so cool. It's so cool too because it really does hit on like this like it's like pure indie horror too, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But that's when it'll get ruined, is when one of the big fucking studios decides to do their version of it, and it'll be like,
yeah. I mean, look at what you see stuff with like internet, like the internet. What they used to call them, like the horror, like the copy pasta horror stuff you see on 4chan all the time, like in the paranormal board.
Yeah.
like, you know, the Slender Man, Jeff the Killer, like if you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I do.
You know, that's like pure indie horror shit. Like even something that's really popular now, like the SCP Foundation. Like that's like really, really popular, but that's like straight up cool indie weird horror stuff. Like, you know,
Well,
these
then
weird
all the
creatures
ARG stuff that leads into it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that's like a favorite thing of mine. It's like I love there's a game that came out a while ago. It's called Control. And that kind of delves into a secret government organization that kind of like contains all this weird paranatural shit that happens. And like I love that's a weird little kind of like genre that I think would be so fucking cool to play a campaign on. Like I guess Delta Green kind of touches on that pretty much. Like you're like military personnel that pretty much go out and take
Travel
care
through
of.
dimensions and all kinds of crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, the Glass Cannon Network has, I think they're in the final. Have you ever heard of them? They do a bunch of like live shows and like live streams, but they're in their final season of their Delta Green story. One of the fucking characters' names from the wise ass creator of the Glass Cannon Network is Roger Cumstone. And it's like
That's a choice.
Yeah, but that's his character's name, and he talks like, "Yeah, Roger Cumstone coming at you."
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like Jesus.
better than coming on me.
Oh, anyway. Oh shit.
I don't know. That's cool shit.
Yeah, but
Pet Stop.
they traveled through a hotel that is like this interdimensional nexus, basically.
Dude,
And
I love shit like that. Like Alan Wake. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That game series, like Remedy, the developers have like their own Remedy verse, and Control is part of that series, and it's like, man, like they hit on something that's like really different and special with the way that they do all their video games. Like, fuck, like that's like one that's a couple games of like Alan Wake 2, Control, all of that shit. Like and like the lore, like it's like you go on YouTube and like see like lore videos and all that stuff, and you could sit there and watch them. It's like,
Yeah.
man, they're building unique shit and a unique world that's so outside of like just what it is like a video game, you know. They're building something completely different. It's not just like video games just to be video games. It's like some of the shit they're touching on is like really unique storytelling. Like and I eat that shit up. I don't know why. I just think it's so cool.
because it's original, I think.
I think you
Yeah.
pair some of that with like Ben Drowned.
Oh, Zach froze on us. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Dude, like that, like the haunted fucking Nintendo cartridges and Game Boy cartridges and shit. Like
but where
that's
they
so
actually edit the game files to match the gameplay along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. That's like so cool to see them do stuff like that. Like,
are you familiar with Pets Cop?
No.
Yeah, it's a really cool web series. Do yourself a favor and check it out. It's like this guy basically found this demo disc of a game and he's playing through it, and it starts getting weirder and weirder as he progressively plays through it. And then, like, I don't want to ruin it for you and give you a lot of the twists as to what's actually happening with everything.
Right.
But it's just, it progressively gets into a dark story where you're following, and there's like 2-3 hour long videos explaining it. It's a whole thing.
Dude, like
yeah. where you find out like it's. Oh, I'll give you one spoiler, and it's kind of a big spoiler, but it's still like you find out that like the person playing the game isn't actually a person playing a game; it's an AI running it. Through
Oh
the whole,
wow.
yeah, it's do yourself a favor, check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to remember that one down. I'll have to write it down or whatever. That's cool. That's like see, like this stuff is like the next, like we're hitting shit that's like, this is what, like the evolution of like horror. Like we're seeing a lot of that stuff, you know, indie creators creating really like really, really crazy ideas that you're not going to see a big budget studio do this kind of stuff.
To me, it's just a progression and a reiteration on existentialism itself. They're taking all of these deep-rooted philosophical concepts and branching them out in very interesting and creative ways that are modernized. And it's really cool because it's making it so much more literate and accessible to younger generations in terms of their understanding of these concepts and what's going on.
Yeah. Like you can't see, like this is shit that's like you never would have thought of in a million years. Like,
well, when video games first came out and everything, or like gained huge traction and popularity, how much they got shit on. And really you look at like the progression, even just with like JRPGs in terms of storytelling and everything.
Yeah. Huge, legit huge influence on me as a kid growing up. Huge. Everything. Like Final Fantasy, Suikoden, fucking like all those games, like huge.
Even The Legend of Zelda, if you like dig deep into some of the stuff that's going on, like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, there's a lot of like deep-rooted shit going on in them.
Well, it's just like adults wrote, I don't know, it's weird. It's like you got adults, yeah, they're writing this stuff, but yeah, it's like layered over because it's a game for kids or whatever.
Right.
Like,
yeah, but they know adults are going to be playing them too. That's the beauty of it. They're like, let's see how many people have an IQ over 5 and catch on to this.
Yeah.
Let's see how many people are. Well, never mind. I'm going to leave that alone. I was going to now I forget what I was going to say because it tied in.
You were going to fuck and then you forget what you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I always forget.
The case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Blood flow.
Yep. This is what you get to deal with Charlie and I.
Fucking no, it's just because I like the fucking post nut clarity is what I was gonna say.
You know, like, fucking
like it's like looking into the fucking universe. Like,
you know, it'd be interesting to see remade into some kind of horror movie that could very easily be done as The Matrix.
Oh, dude, there's so much shit there. Like, they created something that like they fucked up on so bad because like.
But did
that? I don't know. Like the concept, like they, in my personal opinion, for the Matrix, like they hit a concept that's like so fucking like cool, but then the movies kind of blow. Like outside the first one, in my opinion, maybe the first two are
the new one.
I didn't.
A lot of
like
people didn't. I enjoyed it.
I hated the new one. Like
it's funny because I almost put a post up that said something about the blue pills because I take blue pills every morning that look like the ones that they're pumping in the
Then you remembered Viagra?
No, not that type of blue pill. No, it's for my
No, that's
ADHD. But they look like the pills that they're pumping into Neo and that. And I almost took a picture of my hand one morning and put like, so this is what reality is. And it's kind of true though. If that's
first
a
of
whole
all, it's
other
a
fucking,
tracer program. Thank you
yeah,
very much.
that's right.
I feel like they already sort of hit on that though, Dave, with Black Mirror. They
I've
have that
never
one
seen that.
episode.
Everybody has said I should watch that. Isn't that the
They have
Netflix
an
series?
episode there. Yes. They have an episode where there's like VR and consent and everything, and a big old story happens inside of the VR itself. And you end up finding out dude like died and fried himself in like a millisecond.
Huh.
But it was a big old
A big old
series of
story of
events. Yeah.
interesting. Oh.
Yeah, the VR thing that like I think was really cool. A book I read Ready Player One a really long time ago, and
Yeah.
that story just kind of like jumping off like the Matrix VR stuff. Like, man, like what a good book that like really when you are somebody that grew up with a lot of the shit that they reference in that, damn, like man, like they fucked that movie up too. Like it just they didn't hit on the right stuff. I don't know. Now we're not even talking about horror. We're talking about fucking VR.
Halloween VR was one of the
Which
greatest
you
games
could
ever made.
you could go into the argument that kind of like with Shadowrun, where people get jacked in and they're neglecting their personal lives and starving and everything because they're so
Yeah.
addicted to the concept. So, I mean, you got a degree of horror right there.
Oh, absolutely. Like cyberpunk is filled with a shitload of horror as a genre. It's body horror. A lot of it is.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big one too. Like body horror itself is kind of like what? Like, here's another thing. I'll ask you guys this. Like, a lot of people I've talked to, they don't like body horror to them. Like, really, really is like extreme to them. Like that's like it hits a level that's like they don't like. It's disturbing, you know, and because it's supposed to be. But like, why do you guys think body horror hits differently in a way that's more primal than like just watching Jason Voorhees cut up some fucking counselors?
I think because nobody really wants to be flayed. If you could imagine being like, if you picture Hellraiser, I think it was the first one where he's like pinned up on the wall and all of his skin's peeled back and he's got the chains on him. You could picture that happening. Whereas like Jason's completely fucking unrealistic.
I'm more like I'm hitting on like less the gore aspect and more like the Cronenberg like
I have a response to this. And I think part of it gets into their I can't remember what the experiment is, but there is an experiment where you set both of your arms there, one's behind a curtain, they have another one there, and they hit it with a hammer, and you can feel the phantom pain from where the fake hand is getting hit on your real hand. I think there's a degree of that going on because you get such a visceral response with some of the body horrors. It's like
The relation to
when
it.
you see somebody get kicked in the nuts,
You
like
feel
you
it.
get a degree of that feeling, right? Like not to that extent, but you still start to feel it. I think psychologically part of that's going on. You're having psychosomatic response.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like to see someone get flayed, you could see that happening. But there's not going to be some guy walking out of the woods with a hockey mask and a machete that's going to pick you up in your sleeping bag and swing you into a tree.
Unless you really want it. Some people pay extra.
Fucking Charlie. Jesus Christ. We're canceling his invitations.
Dude, the fucking sleeping bag kill is like one of the best things ever.
It is, but it's never going to like the odds of that actually happening are
somebody strong enough to full on just
lift you up
eat
and
somebody.
Louis will
Yeah.
slap you. You know, it's
Well, a
But-
big thing too with body horror, I think, is that like the amalgamation of flesh in general really fucks people up when they start seeing stuff where it's like, naturally as a human the way that a human body should be, and when you start to see that stuff contort or mix in a weird way, like that bothers fucking people. Some people.
Well,
Like,
I mean, like I said, I worked for 5 years as an EMT. So to some extent, as I don't know, survival mechanism maybe, you get a degree of disconnection from some of that stuff.
You're jaded to it, kind of.
Yeah. Like we had one dude that refused to get out of a vehicle, Grand Theft Auto. Police dog, we were transporting him. Police dog, he like given several warnings, just like come out of the vehicle. Police dog went in, bit up his hand. It looked like his fingers looked like, when you cook a hot dog too long
And it splits.
split.
Oh,
and
fuck.
the sausage starts like coming out, kind of like, it was kind of like that, because they broke through down to like the subcutaneous layers.
Oh no.
See, but now
Yeah.
it's bothering you. Picturing that, it's like because
No, because because I think it's like, oh man, when you said the hot dog in the microwave too long, I'm like, fuck, because you know exactly what that looks like. Like,
Exactly.
that's like
I
crazy.
think we
Like,
just
that's
answered the
crazy shit.
question.
No, like, yeah, I get it. I'm just trying to think of like, that's like, there's horror topics out there that like, it's kind of fun to talk about that kind of shit. I think so. Like, what makes people tick? Why do people get so fucking worked up or afraid of certain shit when some people like us, like, the three of us, I could say, we've watched fucking hundreds upon hundreds of horror movies. We've seen teenagers slashed, cut, gored, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably jaded to violence in general. Like, so how much does that transfer into real life? Like, and on top of that, it's like, what do you think? Like, when we talked about shock horror, right? Like, gore for the sake of it in a horror movie. Like, for the most part, it turned the three of us off because it's just like, it's tacky.
Yeah.
Why?
So I have a counter response to that, and this is like just getting real for a second. You can disconnect when you watch all of that violence happening to another person or in another thing. If any of that is happening to you, or you're in a scenario where that's going on, I'm not going to elaborate on that any further, but it hits different. You're not able to disconnect.
Right.
Like, you'll start hitting panic attacks. Like, that stuff will start affecting you. So I think it's because of the degree of removal that we're able to do that.
Like,
Yeah,
the degree
I think
of
you're
separation.
absolutely right, because I have played enough games and seen enough horror games, or movies, like you were saying, where people have gotten eviscerated in the film.
Yeah.
But then to walk into a place where someone has unalived themselves, I will say, for the algorithm, and actually see that is a completely different, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a completely different thing.
That's a different thing. Yeah.
Because the smell, it's like like you can't perceive the realities of it in a fictitious form.
Right.
And it's like, because there is a certain smell that comes along with certain things.
Death has a smell to it, man.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
I was a med tech delivery person for years in my early 20s.
Sniff.
And like, we would deliver like oxygen machines and like hospital beds for hospice and stuff. And sometimes like you pick up mattresses and shit, and that's where I first experienced that myself. Is there's a rank to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you're
it's
getting into the whole like base animalistic response. Like we have a visceral response to that. Just like the fear of the dark, not being comfortable in dark spaces, is because
it's a primal
predatory
instinct.
creatures at night.
Yeah. That this brings me to, because I was going to bring onto this. This is why I wanted to talk about this to this point. The idea of, and this piggybacks in horror, and that's why I want to talk about it, was the idea of like the old shit, like a skinwalker or a Wendigo or whatever. The idea of what uncanny valley is.
Yep.
Why do humans have the feeling of uncanny valley to a primal level? Why are we afraid of something that looks like us but isn't really us? That concept right there, like, that creeps me the fuck out, because that makes me feel like when we talk about like ancient legends and mythology and like all these things and cryptids and shit that like we're all into, we like horror, we like fucking all this stuff in the genre. I think
Is
that
there
shit,
something tangible in there that actually
why,
existed?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that concept right there, I think that's creepy. That's scary.
That's creepy as fuck. I mean, like a counterpoint to that would be the evolution of humankind, right? So if you're talking about like Neanderthals into Homo sapiens, right? It
Right.
was there some form where we branched off and maybe they looked somewhat similar to us through like genetic variations, but we knew we were different and that's what hardlined it? Or again, getting into what you were saying, is there something mystical, magical, paranormal, uh, cryptid that's there that caused that?
Right.
Because it is very animalistic and instinctual. It's not something that you would just get from hearing the oral traditions passed down, um, various tales and mythology and everything. It is much more than that. Those stories, and the reason why there's so many stories that mirror each other in alternating countries,
It never came
regardless
into contact.
yeah, of their geospecific location. That's fucking crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's creepy as shit. It really
Yeah.
is. Like, that shit scares me. That shit's like, that's the one. It's like, hey guys, let's take a hike in the woods. Like, no,
You know what I blame it
fuck
all on?
you, I'm staying up.
Ayahuasca.
Well, getting back to role-playing games and horror and everything, you take those concepts that you just got to right there and you distill that
game.
down, like the fear of the dark, something like that. And then you take little lines, little bits like that, and you feed them into the conversation.
Yeah.
An NPC, there's a reason why we've always feared the dark.
Right. It's context, man. It always is going to be.
Dave's getting hot and bothered. He had to take
Yeah.
off his beanie.
I've got 2 fans on and I'm still fucking roasting. Menopause.
It's real. The man flu is real.
Yep. Well, the man flu is definitely real. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, there
But,
is something prolific there.
Yeah, for sure.
Now
But,
I really want to write like a horror game set in a wax museum.
Yeah, you ever want to spitball ideas? I'm down to help you bounce stuff.
Yeah, I got too much going on. It's funny because in my interview yesterday that I still feel like I tanked. I was talking to the guy before we went live about me writing stuff. And he's like, well, he goes, you've talked to a bunch of people about it, but you don't do it. And he goes, why do you think that is? And I'm like, well, it's because I've made choices to not prioritize it. And that's all it is. Because it's like number 5 or 6, really, at this point in time. I'm doing everything in reverse. I'm trying to get the money to be able to stop everything I do work-wise so that I can write versus trying to write to make the living, if that makes sense.
Well, you don't go into RPG living to or RPG writing to make a buck. We've all known.
We all know
we do
that
it for the love of it. Yeah.
Right. But for me to be able to do it for the love of it, I need to be able to fully dedicate myself to it.
Right. Yep.
And I can't, it's not something that when I do it, and I don't mean to say in any way, shape, or form that anybody out there does it. For me to try to do it without being able to give it my 100% attention, I'd feel like I'm half-assing it. So, and I don't want to half-ass it, and I don't want it to seem implied that I'm saying other people half-ass it.
Right. You want to go balls to the wall.
I want to go balls to the wall with it when I do it, so that's all I am fucking doing, so that that's literally all I do is sit there. Like when I finally sit down to write A Shape in the Darkness, it is going to be something that I put 15 hours a day into for probably 6 to 8 months. And then I'll finally come up for air and you'll be like, oh, Dave, you're still alive.
Yeah.
No.
I will say it is beautiful, though, that you have gotten a little bit more into some campaign or adventure writing again, because that took you a long time to break out of and be able to do again.
Oh, dude, even to play games took me a long time to break out of.
Yeah.
To be able to do it again after my brother.
Yeah, when you gonna run that spy game for us, huh?
One of these days. And that's the thing, is like I want to have the fucking time to do it right. And it's like,
well, you dog on me about shit all the time, so now I'm gonna do it to you.
Yeah, but no one's watching.
The problem is, if you wait forever, you're never gonna do it.
No, but I will do it. That's the thing is, but like even everybody that I play Blades in the Dark with on Friday nights, my group of friends have been on me. It's taken me 4 years to come up with a campaign idea to run for them. Because
how's that going?
I'm starting the 15th. I'm doing a 1 ring game. I'm basing it off no one's watching, and they'll probably won't sit there and watch 3.5 hours into it to see what we talked about.
They're gonna. Man, I'm pretty tantalizing over here.
Tantalizing, Charlie's Angel. That's what I am. And anyway, I'm basing this 1 ring campaign off the Blue Wizards that you never heard about, really. And it's Palindor was one of them, I think was the name, and I can't remember the other one's name off the top of my head. But I've done it. It was like fucking months of me researching Lord of the Rings lore. Yeah. Because I can't half-ass a game and be like, well, you guys are going to Moria and fighting the Balrog. I don't want to fucking do something like that. Like
I do the same thing when I write and when I run 40K stuff. Like I make sure that what I'm making or what I'm doing doesn't interfere with the world in general. But that world and that setting is so big compared, like 40K for especially, is so big compared to like the Lord of the Rings. And I mean that in the way of like the size, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some stupid story on a planet somewhere doesn't mean anything. It's in the grand scheme of things. And that makes it a lot easier. Right. And I guess you could say the same thing about D&D. Like, you want to run a fucking adventure in the Forgotten Realms, like, all right.
I would have to disagree with you on there because of all the lore surrounding it.
Yeah, but
at least
it depends on the vastness of the adventure. I think. Like if you're gonna end the campaign in like world changing events and stuff, yeah, obviously. But if you're just going from 1 to 5,
that Charlie played in with me, Arrowknee, which it's hard for me to write in that world because so much of it changed after I stopped playing in it for life reasons. Like my life just took over with working full time because I hadn't worked for 3 years, I think, most of
Yeah.
the time that I was playing in that. And then I fucking got a full time job and it pretty much ripped me right out of it. But yeah, I've got
Yeah.
I'm really weird about running games. And a lot of it too has to do with confidence because now all of a sudden we have 3 viewers. Hey folks. But like a lot of it for me is confidence because the last time I GM'd like full on was when I had my nervous breakdown. And there's a part of me that still to this day feels like I suck as a GM because of the way things went down.
Dude, that feeling in general, like that you suck as a GM, like I think everybody goes through that though in some extent. Like how many I've
But for
talked
me,
to
it is a
people,
paralyzing fucking thing.
yeah,
Because my breakdown started while I was running a game. Like I was running Tomb of Annihilation, and I hit this point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And all the players are sitting there like they're in the battle with the Sararak. And I'm like, guys, I can't do this. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I've got to stop. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I was having like my Mount Vesuvius panic attack while I'm running a game. And one of the players took over and ran the final combat because I couldn't do it. And now I've got it up here that every time I run a game, that's going to happen. And it's something I've been trying to work through countless hours of counseling and that haven't been focused on that, but getting through shit that runs parallel to it. That one of these days I'll get over it, but
I think you just got to do it.
Yeah, and that's what everybody tells me, but unfortunately the Nike concept doesn't always work for me with things.
I mean, I just went shit posty most of the times I ran.
Yeah, but I've got this weird thing. Again, I'll say a weird thing that I don't know. I think I put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Because when Zach, you don't know our friend Brad. When he introduces me to people, he'll be like, this is one of the greatest GMs I've ever met. And I'm like, what? And he's like, dude, you're the best GM I've ever played with. And I'm just like, don't fucking tell me that because I don't see it anymore. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like when I had my nervous breakdown, it was like opening up the bag of holding that had all my ideas in it, pulling the pin out of the grenade, dropping it into that space and holding the bag shut.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Not necessarily in the context of being a GM, but like all of my other stuff that I kind of went through.
Yep.
Completely broke me down as a person. So it's like the questioning of like who you are, what you're capable of. Like,
yes.
Well, you used to be able to do all this stuff before. Why can't you do
a
single basic step now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy
I've gone through a lot of it. Like Zach, before you and I've got no problem with anyone hearing any of this shit because I don't give a fuck what people really think of me at this point.
Except for me. Yeah, I love you.
Yeah. And I love you and I love Zach and he knows it and you know it. Like
the amount of what I want to say online. So
I know I've got you trapped in this one. But the amount of therapy that it took me just to be able to fucking get online and play games again after my brother died. Say the same Brad that did it was the one. Like the only thing I can equate it to is like standing in the upside down in that black room that 11 would go into, that blackness. Mm-hmm. Brad's hand essentially came through the black and it was like it was just there and said, come with me. and pulled me back out into reality. But it was also a mix of therapy. And I'm getting there, but because like I know I'm a baller GM, but like
You're
I
a pretty
can't.
good player too.
I still can't fucking sit down and read through a book without like the page like just going. Like all the words on the page may run in lines, but then they'll just go and melt when I'm reading them. It's hard to explain, like aside from saying it like that. Like the page literally breaks when I'm sitting there reading.
Do you full on start dissociating too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like it used to be I could take that Top Secret box set that I bought and I would be able to, I would read that book in a day. And I'd be like, well, shit, I've got the next 30 years of fucking campaign set up in my head. And now I'll try to read it. And I'm just like, I've got this thing in my head going, la, 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 over everything.
Get like half a page through.
Yeah. That the sound that it's weird to say.
Is it like a high pitched ringing?
No, it's literally like something standing in my head going la 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 constant.
Damn.
That when I try to read through something like that, like I've got neither one of you have seen my library of books that I've got that fucking 10 years ago I could have torn through all these books, like read them in a 3 to 4 month time span. And now I can't even read through a simple fucking zine without like fucking the la 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 la. And the harder I try to read shit and comprehend shit, the louder the noise gets.
Right.
And it the volume of that overrides what my eyes are trying to take in. If that makes sense.
You need to find somewhere that brings you peace, Dave. Like
There
somewhere
is
where
no
you feel like super centered and grounded. You don't know where
there
it's
is
at
no
right
such
now.
place. No, I'm saying at
there
this
is.
point in time, there is no. I do not know peace. And why are we taking this to like existential crisis land for our Halloween
I don't
episode?
fucking know. I don't know if you know this, Zach, but Dave and I had one of the most hardcore showdowns in Aroni.
Because I killed a goblin. Is that the
No,
one?
there was when we did the battle royale.
Oh yeah.
He's playing Lurpu, who was this beast of a fucking fighter. Was he a champion?
No, he was a barbarian.
Barbarian. There you go. And I'm playing a cleric of life. That's if I remember correctly, at one point, like, because I killed off a lot of them using spirit guardians and a couple other things. That's what took Michael out, who was a warlock who was just fucking flying all around. Because it was pretty much you and me left.
And Joa.
And Joa, that's right. You, me, and Joa. And I had banished you at one point to take you out of the fight for a while.
Yep.
And I disenchanted your fucking weapon.
Yep. He killed my fucking flame tongue. That I had.
Oh, no.
It never worked again after he did that in the battle royale.
Yeah, because it turned it off for so long or whatever.
Yeah, and I had to kill my horse in that campaign. You want to know what was the most fucked up thing that I've ever played through? Was when I first got back into gaming, was in the Crossroads. It was in a West Marches campaign. It was all online during COVID. And when I really got back into playing games and just kind of coming to peace with my brother having died 20 some odd years ago. And in the fucking game, this dude Nick played my brother. We were brother tabaxis. And he got fucking killed in the fucking game. And dude, it almost gets me emotional now. I shut down. Like, and everybody's like, dude, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's getting me fucking emotional now. But fuck, I hated that game. And I survived by 1 hit point, or we would have both died. Because I pulled off a fucking dodge and I killed the creature that was attacking us.
Ugh.
I've killed so many of Nick's characters by
Well,
accident.
no, it wasn't Nick's character. The creature killed Nick's character, and I went fucking ham on it. I was a rogue.
Oh no, I got that.
And fucking, I went on this like on this murderous rage as a rogue because this thing just killed my brother. And I'm like, in my head, all I could think of was my brother. And fucking, ooh, man, that was gnarly. And I survived by 1 hit point. And I don't remember what I said, but we got done and you could have heard a fucking pin drop in the Discord room. And the guy running the game is like, dude, I'm so sorry. Because everybody knew the story. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I wasn't fine. And he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And it was like, it was fucked up.
It's not his fault. You
No,
know?
and that's what I tried to tell him. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this isn't your fault. And I'm like, it's not like you set out to kill him. He's like, no, I know. And he goes, but I feel so bad because I could tell how much it had fucking just triggered me. And this is a perfect segue if we were to go back to that Monty Cook list of shit that like
Yeah.
Oh,
of
yeah.
why it exists. Because there are games I could play in that I would lose my fucking bananas just thinking about my brother. And it's the weirdest shit that you would think 21 years later, almost 22, that I'd have it fully compartmentalized, but you never do. Like, it is the shittiest shit to fucking have to deal with.
Yeah, but in a way, I'm not going to try and sound like an asshole.
No,
No,
I
I-
already know where
You're
you're
just
going,
gonna
I
do it.
think, but he's like,
But-
I'm not going to try to sound like an asshole, but I am.
I'm gonna commit.
Yeah, but in the end of that, through role playing, you got to kill the thing that took your brother out, and you never
Yeah.
got that.
No.
So lethargically, like, there's an essence of a cycle being fucking completed.
A
right,
degree
a
of
circuit
catharsis.
being closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the
Like,
biggest thing is
that's
now, like,
important.
it is. But yeah, I killed a giant demonically possessed Thomas the Tank Engine in this game. That's what attacked us. And the dude Sean.
Never mind. I fucking take it back. That's dumb.
It was Sean running it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
man.
And fucking dude, it was the most brutal thing that night. But we got done, and it was, and
I want to make sure you're on.
Yeah, I know what time it is. Thank you.
you gotta go.
I'm pretty much there. I have to work tonight because,
Lame.
like you, I can't chase my passions yet.
Which you're talking music.
Oh, my
You're kinda
passions are a
chasing
lot
them.
of things.
Yeah, you're like
yeah.
me, that you've got the smorgasbord of
Yeah.
things.
Well, why don't we do the outros here and cut it, because we're 3:43 and it was a really good episode, and you know.
I don't know if
we'll-
he's gonna go. If he's gonna go, I think we should hang a little longer. And like, I feel
Yeah,
like
you
we've
guys are
gotten
welcome
really
to.
fucking dark
Yeah.
over the last like half hour, and I feel like we need to like be like the Care Bears and burst some rainbows out of our chests here and
Okay.
bring it back before we sign off.
Yeah, that's a good
I would-
point.
I would like to
Let me-
thank you
Are you
Both
bouncing
for,
right now?
for having me on. I can hold for like 5 more minutes.
Oh, we'll let you bounce so you can go hang with the lady.
Yeah, man, go get ready.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm not hanging with my lady. I live with my sister with my kids and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm not hanging. It's literally like I'm gonna throw pants on and leave for work.
Okay. But yeah, what were you gonna say? Sorry, we kind of cut you
I
off.
was going to say, let like throughout, like we talked about a lot of shit tonight, and in the role playing and everything like that. And that I think a good ending thing to say is that how much this hobby has done for us
Yep.
over the years as adults.
Catharsis to
Catharsis,
self-confidence to
meeting
everything.
some of the best fucking people that we ever
Yeah.
met in our life.
Yep.
Friendship.
Right? You know,
Oh, yeah.
I have friends that I will have forever because of this hobby. I have met people that I will be friends with for the rest of my life. You know, Dave, you're included. You're like one of my best friends. Like we're like, we met with TotalCon face to face, and it was like, wow,
Meeting a
Jesus.
missing piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, it was like meeting someone that you knew you would have been friends with when forever.
You were 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing without like not like bringing it back from the dark stuff is that this hobby and everything we talk about and the things that we have and the passionate things that we love, it's about meeting people and it's about making friendships that last for a lifetime. Because in modern society, people don't meet friends and have friends forever anymore. And that's the most important thing. There is a sense of brotherhood that is built on this hobby, and outside of the things that are breaking it down, whether it be politically or socially or whatever, people need to remember that this is about getting around a table, whether it's virtually now or at a real table, and getting to know each other and having friends for the rest of your life. And that's the most important.
It's like the real life adventuring party.
Yeah.
You're going to form bonds going on like a 6-year adventure. If you were Conan, Subukai, and fucking Valeria, the bonds that you're going to form doing all the shit that they did together are unbreakable.
And I think that's a message that I think a lot of the newer people that come into this hobby and the younger generation doesn't get to be touched upon. And I think that's the most important thing as veteran players. For us as grognards,
like me can show you.
That's something that I really think is important, is that these older veteran players like us that have been playing since we were kids, that it's not just, I don't want to shit on Critical Role, but like it's not
all voice actors sitting around a table.
Yeah. This is something that we really feel passionate about and care about, because we care about the people that sit around our table. And that's the goal. The goal isn't about being the best character, playing a good story. At the end of the day, it's about forging bonds with people that you're not going to lose and that you're going to have for the rest of your life.
Well, Charlie,
that's why I do what I do.
Of it. I mean, Christ, when was the last time you and I talked, Charlie? Months?
September? Talked or messages?
I think like September.
It's been a minute, but we still check in with each other.
Yeah, but the last time we got together like this was well over a year ago, if not
something like that. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a degree of getting to know more of yourself too through the role play.
Yes. Yep.
And there's also a degree of getting to know the people that you're playing with in a way that you wouldn't if you were just creating normal friendships.
Yeah. And how many times you can make each other snort laughing.
There's also it also kind of ties back into like, this is the modern equivalent of gathering around the campfire and telling the
story,
the
modern mythology.
Yeah. You're kind of giving the degree of that, and you're creating new myths with these friends and people. Because how many times do you go back and you're talking with your friends? Oh man, the time that we sat there and I dodged that attack only to hit a crit and take out that assassin that was right on you. You had 2 hit points left. We would have lost the entire campaign if I hadn't made that critical hit.
I ruined your flame tongue and I fucking.
By the way, that was digital. By the end of that by the end of that session, the flame tongue was working. Thank you very much.
Whatever.
Oh, when I did the Queensman.
Yep. And then when I had to fucking kill my horse,
Yeah.
you were there for that, weren't you? When I
No,
killed
I
Flapjack.
heard it. I heard when you killed Flapjack because I went back and I listened to a bunch of the old stories before I started running games on there. So I actually had one of the most complete knowledges of Aroni's mythology going into running shit because I sat on like probably 60 plus hours of easily just listening and gaining the lore.
That's what I think we need to do is stream Top Secret too.
Yeah.
Oh,
When we do it. No?
For
oh
the
man, I'd be down for that. It would be so much fun.
Yeah.
for
That sounded like a oh god, no.
No, that's like a that's like I think it would be. I'm down for Top Secret, regardless of whether it's streamed online or whatever. Like I just want to play that. I want to see you put what you want to put into that because that excites the shit out of me.
So you want to know something funny? How I talked about us needing to radiate the energy like Care Bears out of our chest. I just had someone named Care Bear subscribe to my channel. That is too fucking funny.
That is.
They're a skinwalker. Yeah. Fuck them.
For posterity's sake, the first streamed game that I ran in Aroni was a shit posty version of the Magic School Bus, where we all went into the avatar of a god.
Yep, I remember that one.
Yeah, we had a rap battle. There was all kinds of shit going on.
Zach's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, it was pretty cool. The heart was an old timey rail cart with two smaller versions of the avatar pumping it.
Oh Jesus,
that's fucking ridiculous.
That was Aroni ridiculous.
Yeah,
you guys gotta
fight a young black. They gotta fight a young black dragon. That was the culmination of the episode. They fought a young black dragon in a pit of stomach acid.
That makes sense, actually. Believe it or not.
Yep, it does.
Oh, I made it thematically work. Like, don't get me wrong, it was shit posty, but it worked.
Charlie, you're gonna be late for work.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
As much as I like having you here, I do have to make.
As much as I hate my job, I need the money. As little as it is. Thank you guys for having me on. Hopefully,
you're welcome back
you guys
anytime,
feel like
my friend.
Appreciate that. Good to meet you,
Yeah,
Zach.
absolutely. Yeah, good to meet you, man. Absolutely.
Right. Love you, buddy.
Bye.
I'll catch you later.
Catch you later.
Oh shit. Man, we took it dark. Well, I guess I made it dark, but
No, not really. I mean, it is Halloween.
Yeah. So, but I just pulled this out, and you can't see it. It's so New World Order you can't even see it.
Oh my God, what have they done?
Dun 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 dun. But yeah, I think a game of this streamed would be so fun. Because yeah, I got to come up with something and break the curse, so to speak.
Yeah, you do.
Not running, because my friends are right, including you, that I'm a fucking killer GM, and I know I am. I'm actually going to, folks, have a good night. We'll see you later. I'm going to take us off the air and we'll shoot the shit. But adios, folks. We will see you in probably another month or so. And
thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the next Dave and Deeter After Dark. Bum, 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 bum.